Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to ESU. ESC United, your Eurovision, ESC United live stream where we talk about, I spoiled it already, Eurovision. My name is Matt and I'm here to guide you through day 4 of rehearsals at the Eurovision Song Contest 2023. And there is a lot to talk about. We started a little bit later than usual for reasons I can explain in a second if you need me to, but I think most of you are already aware. But yes, I'm going to talk to you in a second in the chat as well. Let me just go through the housekeeping items real quick. This is day 4 of rehearsals, and it is the semifinal 1 participants that are and have rehearsed for the second time individual rehearsals. They had 20 minutes to rehearse. Usually they get like 3 run-through throughout that process, sometimes 4 if they're really, really fast. And then they leave the stage and the next one comes on. In the past, what they had an actual dedicated press conference, which are no longer taking place. So instead, a different venue was open. I think OGAE offered the artists to show up there, but not everyone, of course, accepted. So ultimately, there's a little less, stuff happening around all of these things. And I also want to immediately throw out there, I had technical difficulties yesterday with my microphone. I ordered new cables, and they're arriving today, allegedly. So I'm not trying to touch anything. In case my voice disappears, scream at me in the chat, and I just have to reset it real quick. I try not to touch, move much. Kind of hard when you're doing this, but technology. So anyway, what happened? We don't have any videos, any clips yet from today's rehearsals. The only thing we've had throughout the day were pictures. I even haven't looked at them yet because I saw the ones from the first rehearsal, but if you want me to, I can go through some of them with you. So right now, as you can see, is that I'm alone, all alone on my own, but I got plenty of sleep in, which is nice. But basically, my team, for the most part, is those that are not there yet on their way. I know Gabe is leaving today. Roy is leaving early in the morning, and I'm holding down the fort here. So that is why I'm doing this while they are doing other stuff. Sean arrived today. Yes, Sean arrived today. Or yesterday. Today? I don't remember. Connor arrived today. That I remember. I digress. So we're all on our way. But don't worry, you'll see them plenty, just right now, today. It's a little bit of a travel day, for the lack of a better word. But that doesn't mean we have to stop what we're doing here. Am I right? We have so much to talk about, and I see plenty of people in the chat already talking away. And bring up the first question real quick. Ray Mapper, hi. Important question. Oh, I'm looking forward to it. When do you go to Liverpool? Will you bring Billy with you? Or is there one already? Well, you bringing there like an insider comment there. So I will be in Liverpool not until Sunday. With the whole rehearsal thing that's going on, coming from the US, it's expensive in the first place. That's all I could do. So my team will hold down the fort until I get there on Sunday. Since the press center is closed anyways, So not much to do. Billy, the fire extinguisher, I'm sure they have them in the UK, right? So we'll find a local Billy there for you, our little unofficial mascot. Yes, so that is what's happening. So let me just real quick jump back to the topic here at hand. Eurovision, day 4, rehearsals. We don't have anything but the pictures, right? Tonight, at some point, again, very vague and ominous, the information. The EBU, the Eurovision team, said they will release a video, like a summary of today's rehearsals. So they're all being released at the same time in what I believe to be one big, longer video. They still said they're going to be 30 seconds long, each clip. So hopefully we're going to get at least the same amount, just all thrown at us at once. So we're here to discuss that as well. Some people said we should supposed to get it at 9 o'clock. That has moved previously, so I'm always not holding my breath. But hopefully by then we'll have it. But in the meantime, let's talk about what's happening today, or what happened today so far, and go from there. I know that after each country rehearsed today, they had a little together with Timur from Ukraine on TikTok. I am not on TikTok. I don't know how many of you did go there and how this all happened and was it enjoyable, but they had a little like instead of press conferences, they had just get-togethers with Timor, and that's why now they're allegedly all done that I can come on here and talk to you unless it was delayed. So in a moment, I want to take a look at some of those pictures if they're telling new stories from what we've seen before, and go from there. As always, I'm going to answer as many questions as possible in the chat. And as always, keep posting them when you do it. Make sure you give it to @ESC United so that I know that you're talking to me. Otherwise, I can easily miss them. If you want to do super chats, they're always, of course, answered first, but they're not required. What you can do, which is free, I say it all the time, please like this video and comment on this video or anything we put out to help us in the algorithm. It doesn't cost you a penny and makes the difference in the world. And before I get started, I also want to get a quick shout out to the people who just sent us a few donations on PayPal to help us out. So I want to give a quick shout out to from Denmark, a gentleman saying a little help for new cables. Thanks for all the great job you do. Thank you for your support. And they were ordered and they're supposed to arrive today. Hopefully they will be. So I have them in time. When I'll leave shortly as well. Also, big thanks to Anna, and she sent us a donation, and she said, your live stream keeps me company all day for 3 days in a row, enjoying it immensely. Keep up the great work. P.S. More German lessons with Matt and Gabe, please. I just found out that Gabe speaks German. I've known him for years, and I never knew. This is really odd, but he never even bothered trying to talk to me. And big thanks also to Tanya sending us a donation. Dear Matt, dear team, thank you so much for your coverage in times like those and providing all those opportunities to analyze and find like-minded Euro nerds. That's supposed to be hard, I think. I hope this keeps you going. I personally prefer the word geek over nerd, but I'll take it. There are people out there who discuss, what is a nerd, what is a geek. I'm on the geek side, but I don't take offense to that. So, but now let me answer a few questions also in the chat before. First, Armando, breaking news via sources in Liverpool where many Dutch people work. Netherlands was a goosebump moment and everyone was emotional about the rehearsal. Source, Aran, Bade, RTL, and L. Hopefully that is not too covered in personal bias because it's a Dutch outlet, but the fact that the Dutch team really is excited now when there was so much criticism, I think that is good news in my book, at least in my book. Forgive me, there's so many questions, so I'm just going to clip on them here. And if I missed yours, feel free to repost them again a few minutes later. I know live streaming is not allowed at the press center this year, but is recording and uploading at a later date allowed? I love the semi-final reactions and jury points reaction. Yes, so we cannot live stream really from the press center. It's going to be very difficult, but we can record there. The only requirement there is we cannot have any sound from the rehearsal and all that stuff in the background, because legal reasons and whatnot. So that is something we cannot do. But other than that, yes, we can do that. So, and we'll be in the press center starting Monday. But since we want to do live streams, we have to do those from our hotel room. So just a little heads up there. And let me scroll here. Thanks for the updates, Matt. The week before ESC would not have been the same without you, so make sure to be around for a long time. I'll try my best. But so as said, before I jump into it more, keep asking your questions to the best of your abilities. I want to bring up just the first couple of countries that have posted their pictures, because as I said just a moment ago, I have not looked at them yet. So I want to see if there's any sort of new revelation or surprise that is caught on camera that I have not noticed before. So unless you have any concerns, let me bring up the first country that rehearsed today. And that is Norway. Opening the semi, Alessandra with the outfit that has not changed, right? I hope I have the right gallery up as well. There is she, Queen of Kings. Okay, so I don't see anything yet so far that super surprises me. At the same time, we kind of knew what was happening. Just, very adjacent to her national final performance. Different outfit, I'm sure some movements, but the idea, the concept appears to be very, very close. Oh, we definitely get some wind machine action here, and that seems to become more and more, popular this year. At first, we didn't see any, and now we see a bunch of them. And that cape-looking thing comes off at some point, and those 4 backup dancers with the glowy sticks that are not glowing right now. Okay, so yeah, nothing new revealed here that stands out to me, but I think that they're set. Like Norway's one of those countries, kind of almost like Subwoofer last year. They didn't change that much, right? They were ready early on, and I feel as we're kind of in the same book here as well. Again, any thoughts on Norway? Let me know in the chat. In my opinion, they really ruined the joy in waiting for the videos of the rehearsals to see live reaction from the press center. What do you think? Money, money, money. I tried to say it in a nice way. It's all about the money. And that's just what it is. So I cannot, deny that's what it is. She's not wearing the necklace she wore at the first rehearsal. Very good point I think you point out, Anita, because I didn't even realize it at first, but now that you point out, because I do remember that necklace was too much, right? It almost looked like her head was, it was covering too much, and it seemed like almost like claustrophobic to me. So this looked way better. The fact that I didn't even notice it, that's a good thing, because I did notice the necklace and it distracted me. So nice little observation there. Don't understand the hate for the outfit. It looks good on her. I mean, I've been on live stream for like 3 days in a row nonstop. I had limited exposure to social media, and I did not realize there was so much hate. I like it. I like the green. I think green is a very majestic color, and it's not that different from her other outfit. Do you know what I mean? It's still the same idea, concept, just a little less black and golden. It's just golden and green and black. Now, I like it. I like it. So I'm team new outfit. Is that a thing? It is now. But it comes down to personal taste. It comes down to personal taste. Let me now move on to, and you can keep asking questions or comments about Norway. And so, as I'm going along, this is not like a very streamlined thing here. Malta, I was very impressed with their first rehearsal, just to look. I actually put them as my biggest surprise, the best first impression in my video summarizing everything. And here's the first shot. This is almost like probably more like what a camera work would look like, with the bench in the back and the street sign and the half car. They were first. Australia was like, we have a car, but we have a car and a half now. So, oops. So let me make this a little bigger. Okay, that froze on me. Let's do that again. Aha. Okay. Okay, I would assume this is where they're starting out. Like in the song, I'm making because it's probably a little awkward going into the car while performing, but I've been wrong before. Okay, there's the epic sax guy, and my epic sax guy. I love his energy. So we got the sweater, more. Okay, drummer. Those pictures look fair, and then they have the lights in the back, so they're using both. I think both sides, right? And you got our cutout boards here. I love interestingly timed screenshots. Or pictures, I should say. In this case, not really a screenshot. And as always, all credit to Sarah Louise Bennett from the EBU. They make sure to not forget. And yeah, there you have it. So yeah, I still have not changed my opinion. This looks really good. I know it's a tough semi, and Malta is not considered a qualifier. But I will say that if there is a surprise qualifier, I think Malta is most certainly in the running for that. MZ London is saying, I like Malta so much this year, I'm rooting for them to qualify. Assuming you are in London, I guess the UK doesn't vote in the first summer, right? So there's not much you can do. So sucks feeling helpless, huh? Yeah, so no, I hear you on that one. Fingers and toes crossed. Malta staging is the best. There are lots of good staging this year. Again, I will say, lots of intuitive and creative heads came together this year and put stuff together. And I'm not the Eurovision blog where everything is fluffy and fun, right? But I actually genuinely mean it. I think there's a lot of creativity going around this year, and I like that. It kind of somewhat happened in 2018 in Lisbon when there were no not backdrops, LEDs. So the delegations had no choice but to be creative, and that was the fun part about not having LEDs. But here they get everything and they're being creative, so I'm here for it. I'm absolutely here for it. Oh, I missed the super chat. I forgive me. That's what happens when I'm doing this alone, but I'll find it. Hold on. Da, 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 da. um Oh, there it is. I see. No, I only see one. I didn't do that one. I cannot bring it up on screen. It says vibes, right? Is that the one from Asaf Giffen? Thank you so much. If that's the one I missed, I apologize. For some reason, I can't find it in this chat, but I find it on the list here. All right. Let me then go to the next country real quick because we got 18 of those. Serbia. Let me bring up Luke Black. Here we go. So, those pictures, we kind of seen a little snippet. We've seen the first round of pictures. Most of these pictures don't tell us that much more from what we know. Oh, I like this shot. Very orangey. And I'm sure this is going to look good. I'm really hopeful. I mean, Serbia always had like an 80% likely chance of qualifying. It certainly not has decreased the odds, what I'm seeing here. There's always still the risk that this is too apocalyptic, for the lack of a better word, for people. Maybe some people are too scared by it. But I don't think so. I feel bad in my sweater. Okay, that song is still stuck in my head. Forgive me. All right, this looks good. Let's see if you have any thoughts or input about Serbia. Let me know. Luke was saying in his interview that a lot of things went wrong in rehearsals today. Is that so? Of course, the pictures don't show that. And keep in mind, whatever 30-second clip they're going to give us is going to be a flattering one. So that will not give us, it will not give away a whole lot either. Keep in mind, this was actually the last time that these countries had the opportunity to rehearse alone, right? Individual rehearsals. The next time they get to rehearse will be on Monday during the first dress rehearsal. We, the press, will finally be able to actually see the whole darn thing and share our thoughts and insights. There are exceptions to it, just a little. Sometimes when there are really big issues, I remember Estonia 2019 was one of the cases where the storm effect did not work and the delegation was getting really frustrating. I think they got like personal separate rehearsal time. I think same thing happened with Moldova and the Sand Lady. Trying to remember. So that does happen on occasion. And certain things can be even rehearsed without the artist if it's just more camera work, that they can just have a stand-in for that as well. So let's move on. The next country on the list here I have number 4. Latvia. So Latvia in a tough semi. Lots of people concerned that they won't make it. So it looks like these are their official outfits. Those who did not know, the luggage was lost. The airline lost it, but fortunately they got it back. And I didn't think the outfits were like a major deal because they're fairly blending in, which is good. Some people were saying that they were disappointed with the staging. It's a little too low key, but I don't think this song asks for crazy staging. And I think the lighting is quite intimate, and I think that's the performance that they were looking for. And here comes the broken record. It all comes down to the camera work. Sometimes on pictures it looks a little empty and lost, but then when you click actually see it, then it looks really, really good. See, and I like this backdrop that they're using. I think this is going to look actually really good. So I'd say hold your horses on judging this one too much. This is going to be a vibe. This song, what the biggest asset is of this song is the vibe, right? It's its own unique vibe, and all they need to do is get enough vibing going that'll last until the end of the show so that people will vote for it. It's in my top 10 of the semi, so if this was the Matt Vision song contest, this would go through. but I'm hearing it's not. So yeah. Any thoughts on Latvia? Let me know. I will give some votes for Latvia too. Good for you. They give them as many votes as you like. I mean, I would say the same thing to everyone. But yeah, so Ryan Mapper is saying, personally hoping for Baltics and the Nordics making it to the finals, but probably won't happen. All right. We shall see. For hoping ball and Nordics, because we're talking 8 countries. And yeah, that's a big hope. That is a very big hope. Let's move on. Portugal. Ta-da! I know there was a lot of red outfits, similar to the national final. She got her feather, and I made a joke about it. How many birds had to die for this dress, and people were correcting me. You don't have to kill a bird to get feathers. I'm like, I know, it's a joke. It's a joke. I know that you don't have to kill birds to get the feathers all the time. So those outfits pretty tight for the dancers, and she really looks like an old classic Hollywood lady with that hair and makeup, doesn't she? It's one of those stagings I point out during the first rehearsal because they don't have any props basically. It's all just the dancers and the lighting. That this may look like not that as exciting on pictures, but I think I said it again, camera. And the energy there is good, like the whole sass and attitude. And I'm definitely a fan of that. I think the song is way too strong anyway to be forgotten. What the only thing I will say, and I pointed that out with Lithuania yesterday, is what I liked about Lithuania staging with Monica is she stood out from the backup singers because they were all black and she was in orange. Here, they all kind of merged together a little, right? Which clearly is intentional, but I think it would have been nice if they would have given Mimikat some other color, maybe some contrast to make her stand out even more. I know the camera will be on her, but it's still, that would have been my only suggestion that I would have out there. But we'll see. Yeah. And I always say, it may not be the best idea having too much red lighting when you're wearing just red, because red is not always, I've been around theater people all my life, and not all my life, not all my life, but for many years, I should say. And they always say, never ever use red on stage unless you really want to portray anger or aggression or any sort of emotion there. So I'm always worried when you see red lighting like that, but they don't have it all the time. So it swallows them a little much as well. But then they'll have the spotlight on it. But keep in mind, what I'm doing here right now is hashtag nitpicking. Because I don't have anything else to say. And yeah. Yeah, I think I went through this one already. Okay. I would love to hear your thoughts on Portugal as well at ESC United in the chat. Isn't green also bad luck in theater? Well, okay. Are there any theater people in the chat? No, good. Theater people are annoying. Because I say good luck and you never say good luck. You always say break a leg. And it's just like silly, but they're dead serious about that. And I'm like, okay, or whatever. And yeah, it's they have certain beliefs, and I'm not very theatery. I do like theater. Musical theater is fun, but I'm not like a theater character. I would not fit in at all. I'm a little bit too sarcastic and dry, and is politically incorrect the right word? I don't know. Maybe. Staying in the UK, so time to vote on my own country, Norway. How dare you? You can't do that, but unless you like the song, then I approve of it. So I do see some people agree with the red I was talking about in the chat. So yeah, but again, the camera work. I see somebody else wanted to join the chat in my team here, but on camera, but for some reason the camera's black, so I don't know if that was just accidental. So if you're on there and you wanted to join, make sure you turn your camera because I just see a black screen. Oh, it is somebody there. Ha! Okay, so I think Boris is joining us today. Give me 1 second, Boris. I need to put on my headset so I can hear you. So I'm not alone the entire time. Hold on. Hello, can you hear me? I like you. I know you're lying. Your lips are moving, but we can hear you. So while you're figuring that out, I'll bring up Ireland. We still cannot hear you. At least I cannot. Is it me? Maybe it's oh, maybe it's me. Let me see. No, my headset is plugged in. Guys, can you hear him? Let me know if somebody can. No, they can't hear. Okay, it's not just me. It's your problem, not mine. Okay, so I'm gonna switch over here, Boris. Keep figuring it out. Okay, let me look up Ireland in the meantime. So lots and lots of pyro. So Ireland was very interesting to me because I watched it, like the clip, and I saw the picture. Oh, that looks good. That looks nice. But the more I thought about it, maybe it's a little bit too glittery, Freddie Mercury, almost like this. The outfit it doesn't help the shape of its body per se, but I'm not a body shame or anything like that. It's not the most flattering look, I think. I don't think anyone can pull this off, even if the best curves in the world. It's just not the necessarily my favorite look. Oh, let me try this again here.
Now? Can you hear me now?
Yes, now I can hear you.
Yeah, I just restarted. It's fine. Do continue.
I had plenty of technical difficulties yesterday with my microphone, so I'm not touching anything. So hopefully I won't have any issues.
Oh, that's so irritating when that happens.
I know. Give me one second. I'm just gonna go for the pictures real quick, and then I will talk.
Yeah. I'll mute myself.
You don't have to. So then there is a guitar player happy as a clam, which is a weird saying actually. I've never seen a happy clam before. A clappy ham. I've seen a clappy ham, but never a happy clam before. Yeah, the pictures themselves are fine. It's very, like golden, like classy 70s disco look almost. So, oh, we got the stars in the back. All right. Okay. Okay, this picture's fun. It looks like he's showing him how to play the piano. You're not doing this right. I love funny pictures like that. All right, so yeah, I think it looks good. I don't have any major concerns or comments until I see the actual clip. Alicia Michelle is saying that the outfits for Ireland are on point and the girl knows what she's talking about with clothes. The girl? Okay. I don't know
Alicia.
Oh, Alicia. Well, it comes down personal preference. Everyone has different preferences about that. Just because one person says it doesn't mean everybody else has to agree. But she likes it. I find it more distracting. That's how I feel. So, Boris, one quick question to you. I know I briefly saw it in Discord when you were chatting with the others, and correct me if my information is outdated, but I know you said you wanted to go into this blind. Have you changed your mind, or did I read that wrong?
Oh no, I have a Tumblr blog and I needed to update it with my pre-show ranking, and that's why I've avoided everything until then. But I've caught up now.
So you're all caught up now.
I work half days on Wednesday, so I have enough time to catch up now. So I have caught up.
So have you seen anything yet?
The
TikToks? Have you seen the TikToks?
I've missed a few of the TikToks from the first semi-final. I only watched the ones that I cared about. The semi-2, I've seen everything.
Oh,
so
okay.
Generally.
Are you going to be here for the reveal of the clips?
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah, okay, then that'll be also your first, some of the first impressions. If you have any questions, anybody at ESC United, and then we'll go through that. So what we're doing right now, in case you didn't see, or so I'm just going to go quickly for some of the pictures from today to see if there's anything new, revealing, shocking that we haven't seen before. And speaking of shocking, Croatia is next. So I'm going to bring them up real quick. And let's see. Okay. So the first picture already is quite telling. They're certainly going for the shock effect. You can't help but look, right? You can't help. Okay. So, I don't recall them. They're going to pass out at the end. No, that's not at the end because they're still not naked. I mean, not naked, underwear. They better not be naked. So that's maybe in the beginning. I have no idea. Okay. Close up. See, I told you. I told you this. I don't know. I don't think anyone should wear briefs. Boxer briefs is the way to go, but that is just my opinion. Different generation though. Too much detail, Boris. You're giggling. I'm like hashtag oversharing. So yeah, that's from the music video. And I don't know what they're gonna do on the ground pedaling like that. Okay. I like this screen though. That's kind of funny, but I'm still saying it may be too creepy and too off-putting for the average viewer. I'm so sorry. I'm not laughing at him. I'm laughing with them because they're in on the joke, right? They know that they're trying to do the shock factor, so we are allowed to giggle.
You're supposed to laugh.
I know.
That you're supposed to laugh.
I feel bad when somebody shows an outfit and I start laughing, because like so disrespectful. But in this case, as you said, yeah. Somebody was asking in the chat before I would go on to ask you about Croatia, Boris. Any of the rehearsals that you have seen so far? I know you haven't seen all of the clips yet. Those of you have seen, based on your first impression, who popped out? To you, anybody?
Difficult question for me. I've made a list with the 11 non-qualifiers before I went into rehearsals, and I've already adjusted one of them. So I've upgraded someone from non-qualifier to qualifier, but that's in the other semi-final.
Can say it doesn't matter. Which one?
Estonia, but that's largely because I had Iceland in, and Iceland are taking their staging in a direction they should not be taking it.
Oh, interesting. So you said you brought Estonia into the top 10, or your qualifications.
Yes.
I'm only saying that's interesting because when you look at the betting odds, she fell out. So you disagree with the betting odds because there's, but I think it's less to do with Estonia falling, even though that's the case. It's more about other countries rising, like Denmark and Poland.
No, Estonia were not in my qualifiers, and they are now in my qualifiers.
Yeah, right. So you're doing the opposite what the odds are doing. Okay. A rebel as always. We wouldn't have it any other way.
I don't really mind betting odds. Like people...
No, me neither. I happen to agree a lot with them this year, but in previous years I did not.
I don't agree with them at all this year, other than the top two being the top two.
Oh, really? So you okay. Oh, well, that is true. I'm more referring to the qualifiers right now, not necessarily the actual other ranking.
Really? Totally wrong. Latvia are in. Sorry. It's gonna happen.
Yeah. Let me see some questions. How do you think it's going to work with the rest of the world voting? Are they going to make sure that the countries that can't vote in the semifinals don't vote through rest world? That's a very good question. Do we know? Actually, I never even thought. Boris, do you know, like, if you are in Belgium and Belgium votes in semi 2, can you vote in semi 1 through rest of the world?
I have no clue. I should try. Maybe I can spam vote for Finland.
I don't even know. I didn't think about that. I think you can. I don't see why you wouldn't.
I'm pretty confident that if you can, Spain is going to get the rest of the world 12 in that case, because all the Spaniards are just going to vote for it.
Well, I did say, and that is not, but I had a feeling that Spain is probably the likely televote winner in the rest of the world, with or without Spain in the grand final, because of Latin America. They probably get a big push there as well. But that is just a hunch. I could be completely off on that as well. But yeah, so let's jump in. By the way, people keep asking in the chat. I heard, I'm not sure if you heard anything different, Boris, but the clips are supposed to be released at 9 p.m. Central European time.
Oh,
have you? That's what I heard.
In an hour from now. I thought in 10 minutes. Okay.
Well, an hour and 10 minutes, yeah.
I'll stay here. It's fine. I have nothing else to do.
Yeah, I don't have a life either. So I actually was kind of nice starting late, because usually the last 3 days I was starting at 2:30. I got up at 2:30 my time, a.m. So it's like, that's rough. But now I got enough sleep. So Switzerland. Have you seen that TikTok?
I've seen the press pics and I thought it looked shit.
So you're not a fan?
I'm not a fan of the song to start off with, so I kind of have this expectation of I want this to be bad. So maybe I'm just seeing what I want to see. I don't know. It'll probably look better in motion. I
think so too. It's just it took a very different direction here. Because choreography for an anti-war song, if you will, dancing and running is just very Sacha Jean-Baptiste, I guess, very artsy, and that could backfire, and maybe it works on camera. But I do like at least that they're not lying down and giving up, so because their odds actually went up in the betting odds. Picture-wise, they were very non-telling here right now. so I can't really comment on anything here.
Sasha Jean-Baptiste is also not the most consistent stage director.
No, that is fair. She's very popular, but she had hit or misses. That is true. Sometimes I'm like, wow, this is really good, and sometimes I'm like, this is not working for me.
When she's good, she's absolutely fantastic. The question is this one of those cases? I do not know. We'll see.
It is a risk. Sunglass is thinking that Switzerland is a dark horse this year. Now, depending on what your definition is of a dark horse, because right now they are considered a qualifier if you believe the betting odds. So if you believe it's a dark horse for a top 5 in the finals, then you may have a case, I think. But them qualifying, I would not consider a dark horse moment. And I've noticed, but it's very interesting, Boris. My team in particular, I'm the exception there. My team is not warming up to Water Gun this year. Do you have a very strong opinion, as I could hear? Roy and Sean both had very strong opinions about the song as well, and more on your side.
I happen to know what Sean's opinions are because we spoke about it as well on during Eurovision in concert, and I share his opinion. I really do not like Switzerland or its message. I have it bottom 4.
Oh no! See, I like the song. It reminds me a bit of some of the music from like 5 years ago, kind of thing. So it's slightly not uncurrent, if you will, but I do like it. But I know a lot of people have an issue with the message. I personally did not interpret it that way, but I understand where people are coming from.
My main issue with Switzerland is largely that it just sounds like every single voice winner's first hit ever. It's just
that is fair.
So tiresome. And then it also has those lyrics and that message on top of that. It's just like whoever wrote this is the same person who writes the video teasers for the official website. The ones that are like, Alessandra is bringing the Viking sax. It's bringing the same sort of obsequious cringe.
Yeah.
Not my cup of tea.
All right, let's take a look at Israel. Okay, we already knew that she had that square-looking prop in the back. There are like some pyros that you can see in this picture as well. Let's go for them real quick and see if anything stands out. This is going to be just a very nice shot. Camera work-wise, this feels like we're going to be quite amazing. She looks fabulous, so her dancer looks angry. Okay. She's going to have her dance moves, which I called yesterday. Those dance breaks are the new key changes here in Eurovision. That's just what they love doing now these days. Okay. Okay. Yeah, as I said, this staging will heavily rely on the camera work, as you can see, because right now it's just like she's dancing in front of a cube. Whoop-de-doo. But those shots look really nice, actually, when you take things into consideration. Yeah, I think. What are your thoughts, Boris?
Bottom 2 for me. It's my second least favorite song.
Really? Wow, this is not going well right now.
Yeah, I have a lot of most of my least favorites are in the first semi, actually, and then like a lot of the middle section is in the second semifinal.
And then your favorites are in the finals already?
No, they're also in the first.
Okay, so it's just a very dramatic. But just the staging,
actually, no. My favorites are in the second semi also. Whoops.
Yeah. But just looking at the staging, not even the song. What are your thoughts? Because it's not necessarily about our taste. What you saw.
It's qualifying, but I'm not sure about the dance break. I felt like Unicorn is very desperate, sort of like Frankenstein almost. There's like 4 different sort of styles that don't go together, but they force them anyway. And the most desperate of all is that dance break at the end. And I actually saw the TikTok on that one, and I just felt like she's just flailing herself around. Like, as far as a dance break is concerned, I saw Blanca's from Poland. That one was actually better.
Really? We don't know yet. We don't know yet.
I saw the TikTok for it. It looked better. That's the impression that I had. I'm not entirely sure whether it's going to be, but it's definitely qualifying. But I'm not sure about how well it's going. Israel is a large question mark. And because I don't like the song, I'm also inclined to see the worst possible position for it. So I don't know. I'm not the right person to ask how well Israel are going to do here. But they're qualifying. Yeah, it's going to be enough.
All right. Moldova, we've seen that before. I love the looks of the dancers. It's really cohesive and visually stunning. And I think the whole staging is just magical. And now that we get a few more pictures, it just confirms my opinion. We got the drums in the back there. And those horns again, they're gonna hopefully get another picture of them. Yeah, this is a cool moment. Like on this angle, it doesn't look as impressive because right now they're just trying to rip off his head. But when you look at it up front, you know, it looks like it like. But when you see it up front, it looks really more like a figure, like a shaman or something like that.
It really looks like someone is about to cut his throat or break his neck.
It's like
you're so right.
And then that's they're dancing and singing, and.
Yeah.
I don't know why I kept staring at that picture. I'm just fascinated.
He tends to do that.
Yeah, it's just a very mesmerizing staging. Like it looks the sun there. It just looks beautiful, and I mean, it's just yeah. I'm just a big fan of the staging, and it's like so good. Like I'm really excited just based on the pictures. I can only imagine what the camera will work like. Now, this is based on your taste, Boris, but what you're seeing, do you think this is visually quite impressive?
Yes, but also this is in my top 10, so I always was going to like what Moldova are bringing. And Moldova are basically a country that do not exist until rehearsals. Like
oftentimes.
This was also one such a year because I've seen people like speculate that this would be a non-qualifier or like a fringe qualifier or a shock non-qualifier. And I'm like, did you hear the song? Did you not notice what country this is? Moldova is like the onstage wonder of this contest. They're like Ukraine light. They're capable of turning the shittiest songs into the most effortless qualifications. So this is probably through. This could be top 10. I don't know.
I think this. Yeah, don't sleep on Moldova. We have to wait again. The flow and the whole feel is what it comes down to. Moldova looks cool too. I think they're going to go through as well. So Adam agrees with you. So Moldova is a cultural masterclass and outshines Spain, in my opinion. Well, I think it comes down to personal taste, of course, but I do think they have a knack for visuals. And at first, we always thought it's only Philip Kukarov who's doing it all, right? It's all just credit to him. But as you can see, they can do really well without him. So it's not just a one-person kind of show.
Sunstroke Project was not Kirkorov either.
Exactly.
So.
Exactly. And I didn't like all of it. Yeah. So let's go to Sweden, another fan favorite here. So we all know she has a smaller platform. You can see actually how, I mean, it's significantly small. It's like, what, 6 feet long, maybe? Well, I use little feet, so I should say like less than 2 meters. So she got her scary fingernails. It's also not the most flattering picture. But there she's giving it her all. And there she looks way more relaxed. That's a cool shot. Okay, that's a Sean comment, but still I'm using it. That's a cool shot. Now, he said that's a nice shot. I'll say that's a cool shot. And yeah, I mean, it's basically what we would expect in terms of picture, but it looks stunning.
It is what it is.
Yeah,
it's what we saw at Melody Festival. It's exactly the same.
Yeah, just adjust it to the smaller prop that they have available to them. Yeah,
I mean, I do think the smaller prop looks a bit worse, but let's be fair. Even if it looks worse, it's still going to look good once the camera angles come in. Like, I remember that Cornelia didn't look too great during rehearsals either. Let's not even discuss to say how disastrous that was.
That was
those were some really bad rehearsals. This looks fine by comparison.
Yes, that we got even worried about for a while, but it wasn't enough to qualify in the end. But yeah, this, I mean, again, we only see the pictures because earlier, I don't think you were here for Serbia when we looked at the picture. Somebody said that.
Yes, I was, but I was not connected.
Oh, okay. That Luke Black had lots and lots of issues during the rehearsals, but the pictures don't tell that story, so that's also very important to point out. It's like worse Melfest. So again, let's not judge it too fast because as Boris pointed out, yes, it's smaller, but we don't see the camera work. And 99% of people have not seen Melody Festivalen, so they don't have that comparison.
Besides, if it's worse than Melfest, that's better odds for Carrier.
Yeah, if you're on the carrier side, that is true.
I am. I very much
you're
am,
on carrier. Okay.
Spoilers.
Yeah. Well, for me, it's of course I have favorites, but I'm always rooting for everybody anyway. It's because it's just they're coming in and put their heart and soul into this. Oh, this is actually a nice shot. It sounds like Sean again. Like a nice shot. Purple, red, Azerbaijan. I know. We all thinking the same thing. I get it. This is not about predictions. This is really just about what they're doing with the staging.
Bless them.
On their platform. It's all about the two color thing, left, right, and then once again, since they're going to be very static, they're just standing in front of their microphones. There will be very little movement, and so the cameraman or woman has to work a lot of overtime because they're going to be running around.
I'm just very happy that they're having a great time.
Yeah.
At least we're not getting like a jazz muppet this year from Azerbaijan, who's forced to do like this very cringy synth poppy song that they obviously hate.
She hated it. She even said that like in an interview. She's like, I would not listen to the what's her name from 2018? You're referring to, right?
Oh, Isel, yeah.
Isel, yes.
I was also referring to Chinggis. It also applies to Chinggis.
Well, I like Chinggis' song, but Isel's song was not good, and she said that she was like, I wouldn't listen to that song.
Cross My Heart is one of the cringiest songs ever written.
Yeah, it wasn't. It has such a catchiness to it. I will not admit it, but it was just not a great standout song. And yeah, Isel even talked about I did not want to sing that song. So it was interesting. I think that's it in terms of pictures, right?
It's definitely refreshing for Azerbaijan to have like a pair of people going to the contest that actually want to partake in the experience. Like I was surprised that they showed up and that they turned up in Amsterdam. I was even more surprised when they turned up at the after party and Sean, who already was on his 5th pint, was like hanging over them and telling them, "Thank you for bringing the Brit rock." It was hilarious.
He did do that.
He did do that.
He didn't tell me that. Of course, he probably doesn't remember.
No, I'm pretty sure he doesn't remember much from that night. We almost broke our legs dancing to Cha 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 once again. Oh well.
And I agree with what you said, because blessed, when I say, when you say bless their hearts for Azerbaijan being, it's not a condescending one, because one of the things we appreciate is at least it's not a forced Swedish, Greek written entry, and it's something that they wrote. I think they should have done more.
I think the one telling thing that I can tell about Azerbaijan is that my first thought was, are we sure this is not the Georgian entry? That was my first thought.
Well, Georgia,
and I think, and that says everything. It's almost as if Georgia and Azerbaijan swapped songs.
Well, Georgia usually would at least have something like more out of the box. Doesn't always work, but certainly it's not as flat, But
at least Georgia are making the final.
Yeah, most likely, at least so far. So here's Czech Republic. The hands. I said they certainly have a choreography. They're all wearing pink, and I don't know. Oh, I was like, I don't know what that picture is, but you see them very far in the back. It's just covered by the Chloe Hashimi EBU trademark.
Chloe worked hard for these really good pictures. She deserves credit.
Exactly. Except that one's a little blurry, but okay, that's just
the press pics are really good this year.
Yeah.
Actually, I find, or maybe it's just because the stage looks good for once.
Yeah,
it might be a combination of both. It might be the second.
So they have lots of more pink, and then the whites. It's all about the hands, which is not the only performance that uses hands. I know we talked about Georgia briefly. So yeah, but overall, again, Boris, less about your taste, but what do you think when you see those pictures or like the clip?
I am worried.
We had like very strong opinions on both sides, so I would love to see where you fall.
I really like Czech Republic. I have it 11th. Like along the songs that I think are really good, but not great or not favorites of mine. So I really like the song. I think it's really good in studio version. I do think the lives are not that impressive, which is why it's only 11th for me. That said, this staging I am not entirely fond of. It looks a bit flippant if they're going to go with aggressive like slogans from their lyrics and such. I don't know. I would have tried to make it a little bit more likable. I think it would work better if the 3 who do not sing were actually dressed as men and were acting as foils to the other 3. like they do in the video clip. I think that would have worked a bit better than just having like a group of 6
That's
women.
an interesting I didn't think of it that way. So I hear what you're saying.
As a group of the problem is they're a group of 6 women, and it often comes across that they're competing with each other for attention. And
that's what I said about Albania yesterday.
They have to be a unit.
That's what I talked about Albania yesterday, because you have Albina and the 5 backup singers, and they feel like they're not a family of 6, but 5 individual artists trying to outshine each other and taking the attention. And that was exactly my concern as well.
Yes, but that's so
it's a fair criticism. Yep. Yeah, well, yeah, it's just one of the things. I'm just mostly referring about the song, the staging. I'm not even talking about the song, because I have plenty of opinions on that as well.
It's definitely the song, or one of the songs, that I'm looking forward to seeing the most tonight, because I feel like this is probably where I decide where I put it among the non-qualifiers or not. I currently don't have it among the 5 that I think are going to die in this semi-final. But depending on what I see tonight, I think Czech Republic might find their way into those 5.
Yeah,
it looks a bit dicey.
People are dying to find out what your top 10s are, but hold your horse on that. I just want to go for the pictures real quick.
I'll tell you which 5 die if you ask me to, not before.
Okay. So what do you think of the new hair they got? Oh, there's somebody else joining.
Oh,
no biggie. It's only our favorite, Emma.
Hi. Hi, guys. Hi, Chad.
I wasn't sure if you weren't going to be here or not, so I was
sorry. Yeah, we had a really huge day in Serbia. Unfortunately, it's not good.
Oh yeah, that's right. I'm so sorry. I forgot about that for a second. Yeah, that is not a good day. There was You want me to say, or you want to talk about it?
There was something really tragic that happened at a school here in Serbia. I don't know if I'm even like allowed to say it on stream.
Yeah, you are.
Okay, there was a school shooting in Serbia that was like really it's never something like that never happened before. So we're just all really shocked. I've been following the news all day. It's really crazy, and like condolences to all the victims, and prayers and everything. So yeah,
it is heartbreaking. Coming from the US, who our own fault that we have so many of them. I can only imagine how that feels, because I'll go for that every time. You never get used to it, and hearing that for some country where it's never happened is just, I don't even want to think about it, because it just gets you. Ugh.
Yeah.
So
it's something I sometimes think about, because I work in a school. I'm an IT support in a school at the moment, so it's like.
Well, we're trying to.
I hope this doesn't ever happen to us, but it always hits hard when you hear about it.
Yeah.
It's so shocking, and I'm sorry for like bringing in this.
No, it's the truth. I was reading about it all morning as well, because it's always shocking to me as well. So no, absolutely. But on a positive, did you get a new haircut, or did you do your hair?
No,
it looks so well. It's extra nice today.
I didn't wash my hair today though, so I'm very surprised.
That's the most awkward. No, it looks kind of wavy and nice.
Oh, thank you.
I love getting into this discussion. Fuck that.
No, I think it looks really nice. I wasn't saying it looked bad before. No, it's just like it looks extra nice.
Thank you.
Yeah. So you haven't missed a thing anyways, because we're just talking about the pictures that that have been released so far, and we've already up to Czechia. So the next thing is the Netherlands. And Boris, I'm sure you're gonna have opinions. So but let me just bring them up first. So I heard that the Dutch media was very excited and positive, response about the staging.
They were positively jubilant. They were positively festive.
Let's call it that. So no, but it looks nice. It's a very intimate performance. At first, I was worried they're going to really try to recreate 2014, but as you can see, there's a little bit more to it. And there's platform and them walking around. It is a duet, right? So it makes sense, and it's a ballad. That this is more an intimate thing. The Common Linnets did not invent intimate staging. They just really did a fantastic job at it. So, yeah. Wait, did we do this one? No. Oh, this is so there will be some really nice shots, I'm sure. And of course, it comes down to, the pictures down tell us how the voices and the vocals are, which was one of the major concerns. And therefore, we got all these last minute changes in the genre. Let me ask you first, Boris. Be kind. What thoughts you have?
On the staging or on the song?
The staging for now. And then I'll ask you later anyways about your favorites, and then you can
feel free to... have an opinion on the staging. Like, they were going to go for something like that. I expected something similar to what the Starlings did in Eurosong. This looks kind of like it. I suppose
it has it's not my kind of style either. That's why I don't click with the Dutch song either. I said it before. It's not my kind of genre. And that's why I didn't click with the Starlings either. It's just not my kind of music.
Life is a roller coaster. Hold on.
Life is a roller coaster that just doesn't, stays down.
Tell me something new.
Yeah. Emma, do you have any changes of opinions after seeing these pictures, or it's just kind of in line with what we saw before?
No, not real changes, but I will say like the chances for them are looking, a little bit slim at the moment. I know that I had a lot of positive things to say based on, what we've seen before, but, now that the more songs are coming out and more performances and we're yet to see, some of them, I'm just not sure really about their chances anymore. So,
yeah, I mean, it's a staging. I think what I always say, the staging, I don't think will hurt them. The question comes down to, will it be enough to qualify? And we haven't seen the whole new version yet, and we haven't seen the full staging and the cam work, but that's why I put that comment on there as well. On the channel of Evrotos, we see LED screens turning. It might be interesting, but yeah.
So are we expecting the new videos around 9 p.m.?
That's what rumor has it, at least. Okay. But don't go online and say Matt sat, because I'm only
No, I heard the same thing.
Same
thing. So it's,
but
then we're both wrong.
Yeah, then everybody's wrong. Okay, so that's it. That's what the most recent picture. I don't see anything. And let me refresh one more time. Oh no, Finland's up. Bum 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 ba-dum bum bum.
Huh. Let's go.
Let's go. Nobody cares, right? So
absolutely no one cares.
So ta-da! We knew that he's going to break out of it, and there he has this little. Okay, it looks funny. I love that picture.
This is having fun.
So precious.
It's just like. Okay, so we know what part of the song that is, and so if I looked at the clips correctly, maybe Boris. So do they come out as soon as like the pop piece comes in, right, out of the box? Is that when they come out, or before that?
Is it a chorus?
Wow. No, I think they come out like after the first part of the first verse. Okay. So like the second or third honking.
Okay,
that's I think the cue when the box drops.
Yeah,
when the lid box drops and they pop out.
In any other world, I would be like saying, "Really, pink and green? What are you, nuts?" But clearly, this is like, duh. You need something to know when to. Yeah,
it's all about the lack of taste, and he does it so well.
Did you see his tattoo video?
No, I have not seen
that. I saw it. It was so funny.
It was. He used his wooden crates to hold one up, and then one sit on. Then he used it like it was pretending it was the screens, and he was doing that himself. It was hilarious.
Bless him.
He gets the spirit of Eurovision, right? He was born to be a Eurovision artist. Being campy but still original and still has mainstream appeal. So he has like so much going on. Okay, he got a little more colorful here. I didn't expect that to happen.
Why is the banner wrong? It says Carrie rehearsing cha-cha-cha for Portugal. For shame, Eurovision.tv. For shame.
That happened to me a couple of days ago when I was posting pictures, and I said Portugal, and I said Portugal as well. I said Portugal it was Portugal's pictures, but I said Latvia. Of course, all the Portuguese were laughing at me. I'm like, you know what I meant. It was just right before, I copy paste and didn't update the country.
I cannot wait. I can't wait until everyone votes for Portugal, thinking they're voting for Finland, and we all get to go to Lisbon again.
Yeah,
Mimi Cat, Eurovision winner.
Lisbon
this is how she wins.
Super affordable, so I'm totally cool with that. So let's move on. The pictures coming up quickly, but we're all caught up. Now, I want to jump into questions because there were plenty of questions. I just tried to get through the pictures real quick that we can answer for you. As always, at ESC United in the chat. One of the
what? Sorry. No, sorry. You already picked one. Sorry. Okay, go ahead.
I mean, I just pick one random one. I just, whatever says ES United, I cannot read for them because I don't have time. That there's a difficult part when the dancers are going out of the box. The unclipping of the ropes is something going wrong. Okay, so sounds like to me that there may be some difficulties that they still need to iron out. The thing is about this, because this is the last individual rehearsal. All they have is now the rehearsal starting Monday, the dress rehearsals. They could potentially have stand-ins do that, because Dan doesn't need to sing for this to be fixed, right? That could be production team and other people behind the scenes work on their own to get that done. So, but they still have all these things, that can be fixed. Wasn't there a list of countries that can vote online? Did we see that? That there was a list of countries that can vote online? I don't know. I didn't see that. I know there was a list of countries and the pricing, how much it is.
Well, I don't know. Alistair said in our Discord, after we had the little discourse about who can vote in the rest of the world, he wrote down that everyone can vote, but if you are from a country that is normally eligible to vote, so one of the participating countries, you will have to pay via credit card for certain. So sorry for all the jobless
via credit card. Oh, you have to go. Oh, okay, I'm not voting anyways.
Pay up. You have to. I mean, it's an online vote. You're not going to pick up your phone and call a phone number.
Yeah. Well, I refuse to vote anyway, so I don't have to pay for voting. I'm like, what is this?
Ew, gross.
Oh.
Why can't it all be like Junior Eurovision? It would just be Spain and Poland at the top every year.
That's the American commentary, because we don't pay for any of that. When you vote for shows here, that's all included. Right. That's why you have advertisers. And if you don't want us to pay, then don't have advertising. But here we get both. So
the one time that I ended up voting was because I was feeling so passionate about the song from Hungary.
What year?
2017. Was it
Origo?
Oh.
Yes. I was feeling so passionate about that song. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna vote for this. But that was the only time.
I wanted to vote for Slovenia 2019, and I did not have credit on my phone, and I hated myself.
Okay.
I was so worried. I was so worried for Sebi in that semifinal, even though I shouldn't have been.
Okay. So I really want to know if you think we are getting any certain non-qualifiers. Sadie, that is a very, very dangerous question to ask when Boris is on stream. So, but
also the answer is yes.
Yes, the answer is yes. But I feel more confident in semi-1 calling my non-qualifiers and then in semi-final 2. How do you feel, Boris?
When before rehearsal started, I felt the same as you, and now I've changed my mind. I'm actually less certain about semi-2, more certain about semi-2 than I am about semi-1. I feel like some of the fringe qualifiers have either stepped up their game or make their game worse. So I feel like tonight's sort of recap that we're going to see is going to have more stakes than the one we're going to see from the second one. I'm fairly confident about my 6 from the other semi-final. Yeah. I'm not confident about my 5 here.
How about you, Emma? You don't have to give any names, but do you have like more certain non-qualifiers in semi-1 or 2?
I have more certain non-qualifiers from semi-2, which is kind of expected in most cases, at least. Obviously, not naming any names, but I think at least like 2 or 3 that I think would fail the qualification.
Okay. Let's see here. So after all the pictures, what's everyone's favorite country so far? Are we just talking about the pictures today or all of them so far? Because this is also a tough question because we have our favorite songs. But it's, some people are better than others to separate staging against songs. Which one stood out to you the most, Emma? Let's start with that one. Is there one that really was like, yeah? Because we talked about before, so I think I know your answer, but not everyone was online.
Okay, but I don't really want to say that what everyone is saying. Like, it's expected. Obviously, for me, it was Finland. But I mean, aside from the top 1 favorite of everyone, I want to say Georgia for sure. I did not expect that. I was actually surprised in such a positive way that I'm just really curious, like, to see the whole performance.
Yeah, you can watch my summer videos. At the end, I gave you my top 3 biggest surprise from each day, if you will, and so you can get an idea. Anything you want to add, Boris?
Not particularly. Everyone kind of more or less lived up to the expectation I had. Some were a bit worse, some were a bit better. I don't know. I'm waiting until I actually see the footage.
I know. The 30-second clips will be very interesting. I know people already have a set and full opinion after those, when we all know things will look very, very different. People hate facts. Okay, I don't know what you guys are talking about. So, have you seen that Blanca Paloma lost her performance outfit luggage? I have not heard of that, but is it the same thing? The airport lost it and they're going to send it to her, like what happened with Latvia? Or do you guys know any more about that? You don't know either? Okay. Okay. Well, no, I don't know. I don't know anything about it.
The big 5 do arrive
which
today,
of the big 5 are you currently in the... Let me bring that question up. Which of the big 5 that are currently in the BAT's top 10, France, Spain, Italy, and UK, are most likely to flop? I would say UK and Spain. What do you think? Okay.
That's controversial.
What?
That's controversial.
Yes,
it is. But yeah, sometimes, that comes with the territory here.
Yeah.
And since Boris was rubbing his hands...
Yeah.
Be kind.
I have a
Go
very
ahead.
controversial pick. France.
Really?
Yes.
Again?
Yes. I don't know. Like, the song is good. She seems really fierce, but it's also so mid. I cannot imagine it getting a high televote score, because I feel like the televote is going to go to other countries instead. Will it get high juries? Maybe. But I feel like it's a little bit too mid. Like, out of all of the auto qualifiers, I think France are the most likely to flop. Like, I know that people think UK and Spain, but I don't see it with Spain anymore. I used to, but I don't. And UK are on last, which...
I'm convinced that Spain will be in the top 5 with the juries, right? If the only place it could flop is if they flop with the televoters that don't connect it, but I don't think it'll be enough for it to be like a terrible result. So I expect them to be overall still in the top 10. So if you consider an 8th place for Spain a flop, then maybe, but I don't think they're going to flop hard.
Spain, to me, very strongly feels like a John Steers Dami Im style also ran, like very high near the top, but not at the very top.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Do you have anything in mind at all, Emma? Or you don't think any of them fall into that category?
Okay, had the contest not been happening in the UK, I think it would have been UK, but now I have to kind of agree with Boris on this one. I think there's potential for France. I'm not really sure, but yeah. I don't think, like, personally, I would also say maybe Italy, but that's just a very subjective take on it. But other than that, yeah.
Well, I'm going to give you an objective take because
Oh dear.
not that because I'm better or like you, but because it's like almost flipped around, because I did a top 10 video with some of my team members, and Italy, France, and UK are all in my top 10. Spain is not. Spain, to me, feels the most safe option. I think all 3 other songs have the potential to actually flop. That does not mean they can, but I'm not. These are more a little bit, I'm not certain. And I agree with France as well. France, I still think, has maybe a similar appeal to could have a big jury. I feel quite comfortable juries might go for it, but I'm not sure if the televote is there. And Italy could completely get lost because it is a little dated, for the lack of a better word. But I like it. I love it. It's in my top 10. But I understand why it may not work.
I don't know. It feels like my logic for Italy not flopping is basically every single country that's going to be in the final, aside from the auto qualifiers, will have already proven their mettle in a televote, but not in a jury vote.
Yeah.
Which means that it's an open window for the auto qualifiers to actually nail the jury votes. And Italy feels very jury friendly. I think this is just another 7 for Italy. Is that a flop?
We don't know. Emma, do you think this could be the year where we have a semifinalist as the last placer in this grand final, that none of the big 5 or the host will be last? Because the last time this happened was in 2013, when we still had a different voting system.
Sure. I think we could get that. No, I mean, I think we could get that because what can we really expect with the change that is made? I mean, this is the first year that we're getting it, so I think that, it would be valid to judge afterwards. And as you mentioned, Matt, I think that they won't be changing it for the next year. I don't think so. So we could.
Yeah. I do like Boris's point about they have not been tested, the semifinalists, with the juries. That actually, I feel like, almost make that case maybe even stronger, that they could potentially, it increases the odds of a semifinalist coming last. Especially overall, most people would agree that the Big Five are probably the strongest they've been combined in many years. Boris, do you still think France could be last, or you think it's a good chance it will be a semifinalist?
Oh, France are not last. I guess when I say France flop, I mean they're not going to be
top 10
or even top 15. That's what I mean with flop for them. Like, Germany are going to do about as well as France, but at least they're getting points. So I would not say that they're being.
It's not bottom two. Please, the 15th place would be amazing for them.
They're getting televotes this time for the first time in 300 years. So yeah.
Hey, they got 6. How dare you? Last year, 6. That's like closer to 10 than to 0.
I think they're getting, I mean, mathematically, if you multiply, it's closer to 10 than to 0, yeah?
Yes, exactly.
Like, but they're getting double digits this year, at least, so they're not flopping.
So, but do you think it's a good chance it will be a semifinalist? Because I don't think Ukraine will be last.
Oh, yeah. My one of my best friends actually pointed out to me that he thinks Denmark is the last placer in the finale. And ever since he said that, I can't really unsee it either. It just feels,
you cannot unhear it.
I can't unsee it and unhear it. It just feels.
He's like the kind of country that Riley squeezes in 10th place in semi-2 and then just kind of ends up forgotten in the finals, especially its first time.
Someone is going to squeeze in 10th and finish last, because generally speaking, if you don't have jury appeal but you squeeze in 10th, your televotes are going to evaporate once you reach the final, and you're not going to be left with much. It could be Denmark. It could be someone else. Like, I could see Czechia in this role as well.
I can see that happening.
Yeah. So, Emma, you gave the thumbs up. You kind of agree with his assessment there?
Yes, I think so. And I think that's exactly what's going to happen. Maybe, like, it doesn't have to be Denmark per se, but that's exactly what's going to happen. Then the voting is going to be, those votes are going to be tipped towards, the favorites, and, it's going to end up towards the other part of the scoreboard. So,
yeah. Well, it's going to be interesting. But again, once we have a little bit of better idea, and when we get the clips, by the way, I will show as much as I can, but there is a thing called copyright, so I cannot play everything at once on here. So we have to be very careful with the sound and whatnot, and I pause it maybe in between. Even though we're not doing anything illegal or wrong, it's just about the auto flagging thing, because it's everything covered under Fair Act. But I would have to go for a 30-day process, and I'm not going to do that.
Oh yeah, so, not worth it.
Yeah, not worth it. From all the people I know outside the bubble, not French, they absolutely love France. So I don't think she will flop. Never underestimate the potential power of French stereotypes. True. I will say though, there is some truth to, at least consistency, to Boris's point, because France frequently has been really fairly high in the betting odds just to underperform what was predicted. That seems, and oftentimes, actually, I am saddened by it because I think they deserved more. But the reality is, it happened in 2018, it happened in 2019, it happened in 2022. So basically, almost every year over the past 5 years, except where they came second. So that doesn't mean it's
actually. Wasn't Barbara considered the favorite before Måneskin overtook her during rehearsal week? I'm pretty sure she was first.
Yes and no, because Malta was number one as well for a while. Malta was one, and they kind of flipped around until Italy finally decided, I'm the number one. So she was up there.
Maybe I was just.
I remember. Yeah, I remember when Malta was a favorite that year.
Yeah. So I think overall, if you come kind of there, and she kind of delivered, so even if she was number one, came second, it's still not really underperforming because it's one position. But there have been dramatic differences over the years. I mean, even Roy, once the staging came up, was like number 5 in the betting odds, and we were all like, people get too riled up over the staging. So that's why I was saying, but I hear what you're saying. She could also perform. I love the song, and bias comes in, but I will wait before. I'm also not convinced. That's why I said the only one I feel comfortable about not flopping is Spain out of those 4.
I think we'll know once we've seen her draw. If she's on early.
Yeah, if they're going to get... Well, I'm not sure they're going to give her too early because they kind of already buried France before last year, right? They only gave them less than ideal running order.
No, and I don't mean two, but I mean she needs to be second half if she wants to get a decent televote score.
Okay, gotcha.
I feel like that's the requirement.
Thank you so much, Sina, for the super chat. Who had the best picks today? I'd say those darker photos from Sweden. Thank you for the streams this week. You're welcome, and thank you as well for supporting us. The best picks. Who did we like? Boris.
Oh God, I don't know. Like, to me,
go ahead.
I've had not enough time to process everything. It's just like I have opinions. I have more opinions about the second semifinal than I have about the first.
Yeah, and so I think you mentioned earlier already, Emma. You mentioned Georgia. That was one that stood out to you, right? Emma,
am I here? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Georgia for sure. They stood out for me. Did we get new pictures from Georgia that I missed?
No, not yet. No, just in general. I think we're just talking in general. I'm not sure if they were referring to today or just in general. The pictures we have seen so far.
Okay. Yes, Georgia, Israel. Even though I'm not the greatest fan of the song, but Israel for sure. Czechia as well. I love Czechia. Moldova, Finland. I love so many.
Greece.
I try to remember.
I can't.
I don't remember everything by heart, but my number one, like one of my biggest pleasant surprise in semi one was Malta. The staging I loved. I think number two was Moldova. Then on the second day, I think I put Finland as the biggest surprise because they even exceeded my expectation from my high bar that I had in the first place. And then I forgot who number two was on that day. But yesterday I put the biggest surprise as Australia. That was just fun. Campy, but I enjoyed it. And then Georgia is my number two. So
yes, I missed that one because I think that was after I got off the stream.
Yes, you missed a good one. Did you see the TikTok?
I did see the TikTok. Oh my goodness! Like I understand what you guys were saying now. I wasn't really convinced. I wasn't sure what are you guys saying? Like, why are you expecting greatness and all of that? But I think they brought some crazy wild energy that I wasn't really seeing initially. Not sure about the car part or what's the symbolism of that. But other than that, I love the energy. I love how they, mash together on stage. They look very slick and cohesive in that sense, like in their own way. So I loved it.
Yeah, it was very enjoyable. All right, so and everyone in the chat, if for some reason the video drops sooner than expected, which is supposed to be in 27 minutes, let me know. I keep refreshing every few minutes, but and once again, I have to be careful with the copyright, so don't hate me. You can always watch it separately as well. Can you see any competitor for Sweden? I don't, and this will hurt the show hugely. So I did that every time when somebody asks a similar phrase question. So by raise of hand, who thinks that Sweden is a guaranteed winner between the three of us? No, nobody. Yeah, I didn't think so. It seems as our team in particular has not necessarily written off anyone. Let me go to Boris because I talked with Emma about that at length. I feel like a few times. But who do you don't think Sweden is a guaranteed winner?
No,
at this point?
I think she wins, but I don't think she's beatable. I think Finland can definitely beat her. It's either those two, and it's been like that ever since they've both been selected. And to be fair, like Kari is the only one who can challenge Lorraine, but it is Lorraine's race to lose. I feel like the numbers will just be on their side a bit more than on Kari's.
I'm actually in very much agreement. I'm still convinced, and there's very little you can do to convince me otherwise, that Sweden is the jury winner, and I could see them winning in a similar fashion as Dami Im. So that's where I'm mentally at right now. However, I am just not convinced about the televote because this year in particular, we have so many televote-friendly entries. And don't count out Australia going really big.
Yes.
Finland, obviously, we're talking about. There are other songs that have a lot of appeal. And so what would need to happen, though, is really she would have to get like less than kind of what happened to Dami Im. Dami Im barely lost, right? She was like 30 points, 20 points short of winning. So, but she got like 191 points from the televote. So on average, I would say Lorraine needs to have 200 points from the televote to win, right? So I think that's a likely scenario, but it's not a guaranteed scenario.
I'm not going to do the mental arithmetics here.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
You first or me first, Emma? You go ahead first.
No, I was just saying that we missed the super chat.
Oh, we did? Okay. Then go ahead, Boris, while I'm bringing that up.
I'm actually surprised that you say that Lorraine's going to be bad with televotes, because maybe it's like, yeah, or less good, because maybe I've gaslit myself into thinking that she's going to win no matter what. I think she's like a Jamala style winner where she just gets second in both votes and it's going to be just about enough. Or maybe she could be a Barbara style loser where she also gets second. And then
she got second and third, right? Yeah. She got this. Barbara probably got the same outcome as Duncan Lawrence and came second, basically, right? So that's
see that.
That's thank you, Matt, and the team for all the content and coverage. Eurovision wouldn't be the same without you. This is always like comments like that is what keeps us going. So thank you. Not that we always like give us compliments, tell us, but it's nice because you get always yelled at by people when we don't say exactly what they want to hear, just in different voice.
By the way, I think that the chat actually explained the car to me earlier. Danny, thank you. Apparently, it's the exact replica of the singer's first car. So thank you for that. I didn't know that.
Yeah. I mean, in terms of symbolism, I mean, it was his first car, but I think it's like, I mean, it is for him personally, but I think it'll also be just like a fun thing. He's on a road trip, basically, with the lights and all that stuff, and then the mountains in the back. So I was like, yeah, I get it. It's not, not like what they had in Fusa Nocta in Spain. Did you see the national final?
Yes.
Why is there a car? Like, we're all like, well, it was my grandfather's car. But like, yeah, but it was sitting there. It meant nothing to us. It meant a lot to you, but nothing to us. And the disconnect was weird.
She was my favorite.
What's a great song? Yeah.
Yeah, I had the third or fourth, and then she opened her mouth and started singing, and I thought,
and then things
maybe not third or fourth after tonight.
Yeah. So, we still have 22 minutes allegedly. So let's ask a few more questions, or read a few more questions. Are you afraid Luke Black could be ignored by older people and soccer moms when it comes to the voting?
That's a good one.
Do you think, because I'll say, no, you go first. I don't want to just, what are your thoughts?
I posited when I ranked Luke Black on my blog whether he could be a shock non-qualifier. I think he might be. It's very out there.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, I really fucking love Luke Black. I think he's hilarious. It's like,
because my monetization
came over. Like these things live rent-free inside of my brain. But I could also see them being repellent to other people. And it's not necessarily older people and soccer moms, but
I can see more like the conservative crowds, not like even politically per se. I'm talking more about, traditional, they're just more like the buttoned up
more
people.
Phobic people. Yes, I would say.
I was more talking about, certain people are not as, like they don't, kind of what happened in Poland, for the lack of a better word, right? That they just don't feel as comfortable with that kind of performance. But we don't know. Do you think, though, Emma, there could be a point to this, like Luke Black could suffer from not appealing to certain demographics?
Yes, and not necessarily, because I think that when it comes to Luke Black, he could. You said it very well earlier. He could be actually a shock non-qualifier, and we've said before, shock because he's most likely a qualifier. So I can definitely see him not necessarily repellent to certain demographics, but like in general. So it remains to be seen.
Also, irrespective of whether he appeals to demographics or not, he's in it with like a televote heavy entry, and he's in third, which is not a good draw for him. Especially when you consider that Finland is on later, Croatia is on later. If people want to vote for novelty songs, what's preventing them from voting for Croatia or Finland instead, which are fresher in their minds? I think third is like one of the worst draws for Serbia. I think the only draw that is even worse is first.
Well, statistically, in the semis, actually, third is the worst. Yes. But it's just in the semis. In the finals, obviously, different story. But yeah, in the semis, actually, the qualification rate, third is actually the lowest, but that doesn't mean it's that I wouldn't worry about it too much. It's also just the producers, how they decide which song. Weren't they third last year as well, Serbia?
Yes, and Constracta tied in the televote and lost the tiebreaker to Cornelia.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I'm pretty confident that Serbia would have won the televote if they were in a better spot.
Yes, if they would have flipped Sweden and Serbia the positions, you can make a really good case.
Also, remember Eugen from Albania, 2018?
Oh, how can
televote, very good song, right? Everyone liked him. Televote non-qualifier. He was on third.
We wouldn't have had Mal in the finals if we had the same rules now.
Like
2018.
Who would have been in the finals if it was all televote instead of him?
Who was in 2018? I have to look at the list.
It was either Greece or Armenia. Can you imagine having Oneromu or Camille in over Mal? That would be disastrous.
I mean, I like about the performance was just. I
They're
still don't know
Mal.
what.
They're not Mal. Even if you like them, they're not Mal.
Yeah, no. That voice alone, Bush Peppers. It's like he could sing the phone book and I'd be happy. So let's see. Next question. Do you think every participating country should have the right to vote in both semis? Would you, Emma, support that sort of change that everyone could vote? Not because,
That would be interesting, actually. Obviously not for yourself, but why not?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're participating that year in Eurovision, why not? I think that would be interesting.
Well, that's kind of what they had to do in like the pre-2 semi era, like from 2004 to 2007. I had to almost said 8.
Right? I think that was the case.
Yeah, because there was only one semi, so they had to vote.
Yes.
I personally don't want that, only because this also limits the friendly votes a little bit, so you don't have all your bodies helping you, because certain countries would almost always likely qualify. Then you get all that, friendly vote that, that's why they have the pots. Because if that, then they wouldn't need to have the pots in the first place. You know what I mean? So it's a reason why we have in the first place. So I would not support that.
No.
Do you have any thoughts?
I wouldn't mind it, but now that you're mentioning the pots, but I haven't really thought about it either, because it's just a logistical nightmare. Every country will have to participate in both semifinals. And can you see the BBC like engaging their audience to vote in the semifinals? They already can barely get them motivated to tune in for the semis.
I know.
And that's just one example.
And who will then vote? If people will not watch the semi, they're not in. And then who will vote from those countries? The diehard blocks. Like the people that So
same people who terrorize others on Twitter. Those people.
Yeah, bro. Oh, it's so funny. I just tweeted about that today, actually. Because it feels like extra bad this year. Because it's like, like the country X is not my favorite song. And they say, you have bad taste. And then I say, this country is my favorite song. They're like, what they say, like, why do you hate the other country? You cannot win. You cannot
I saw you tweet earlier.
Yeah, but it's true. It's like I said, I got another like 2 comments below, back to back. I'm like saying the exact opposite. And I'm like,
I mean, I'm almost dead. I have Sweden 12th and Spain like 20 seconds. I'm like, persona non grata. How dare I? Yeah. Never mind that I have Finland 2nd and have taste, but
only 2nd. I cannot have you on the stream then.
Oh,
why do you hate Finland? Okay.
It was a tie. I like the other song more from a musical perspective. This year is
which one was? What is the number 1 then? Do you want to share?
Slovenia.
Slovenia
is my favorite.
Oh, that is interesting. Yeah. So you must have been very happy with. Did you watch the most recent video that we put up then about the team and the public voting?
Oh, I saw a screenshot of it that we ranked it 4th. Good.
We ranked it 4th, and then overall with the readers combined, it came 3rd.
Good. Excellent.
It went actually up because they gave it 3rd place, we gave it 4th place, and then combined it went 3rd. So the official result is 3rd.
I give it and Finland both 9.5 out of 10. I have 0 regrets. Oh, yeah? I think generally for me, it just comes down to what the rest of the playing field is. This year is very trashy, but fun trashy and novelty friendly. So in those years, I gravitate more towards songs that feel real, as opposed to sort of the pulp that we love at Eurovision. So that was basically what decided the tie for me between Slovenia and Finland. But they're basically tied, and that could still change. Like if Finland is that amazing, they could definitely climb over Slovenia on my ranking when everything is said and done. But right now, mi bomo celo noč plesali.
Yeah. Let's see here.
Where are you from?
Belgium.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait, are you from Slovenia? You're like, the way you're pronouncing the words is really good.
My mom's Bulgarian, so I know a couple of the Slavic sounds. Also, I practiced. Also, I sang my throat raw at ESC, at Eurovision in concert when they performed. It was basically my main impetus for going. I want to sing along to Carpe Diem. And the audience was really into it too, which surprised me. They knew the lyrics too. It was very strange.
I'm the absolute insulting, inappropriate, demeaning American.
You hate it.
I don't. Okay. No. I do like it. But I am too lazy to learn the lyrics, so I just mimic them.
That's fine.
You know what I mean? It's like a tulip in a Monty, like making this stuff up. So it's just, and that's like highly inappropriate, but I'm just like, I ain't know.
There are really good lip sync songs this year.
That's why I love always these.
Edgar is the lip syncing song of our generation.
Yeah.
So fucking great.
Okay. Oh, what did you guys think about the Austria rehearsal? That's also something that I wasn't here for on the stream.
Oh yeah, well I already shared my opinion at length. So why don't you go ahead?
What was it actually? Because I've not heard that one.
Oh, Austria, you haven't heard yet. Well, you go first, Emma. What were your thoughts?
Oh, okay. I think that we just have not seen enough from the rehearsal footage. I think that. There are a few shots that I think they could improve on, a few shots that look amazing. Vocally, again, I don't want to judge because we haven't seen enough. Choreo was expected. So all in all, I wanted more, but I think I'll be probably getting more from today's.
In a few minutes, hopefully. Oh no, that's not today.
Not today.
That's the day after tomorrow.
Yeah.
My brain.
Okay.
My brain. It's been a long 4 days for me. Let me ask this question. Oh, by the way, just to add, because you put it out there, I put a video out there. Everyone can watch it. But in a nutshell, I like it. I liked it because I'm one of the few people who's not like wild. Like I missed the hype train, I always say, right? I was too late for it, I guess. I just wasn't. I liked it enough, but it's not like I'm like, oh. But I did enjoy what I saw.
I think the staging. Oh yeah, never mind.
No, go ahead. I've been trying to get the question, but
Austria is just like effective, but not living up to its full potential based on what I have seen. So I think it's basically like, am I going to enjoy this? Yes. If it's going to be top 10, for me personally, yes. It's going to be top 10 in Liverpool? Yeah, maybe. If it's going to be top 5 for me, it's currently 4th for me. It might drop. It seems a bit safey. It's very Austrian in that regard. Like I feel like an Iceland or a Finland
all your favorites
or a
really
Moldova or a Ukraine, they would have all, like, those are countries that would have run away with an Edgar and made it ridiculous. And Austria, well, they have Marvin Dietmann, and Marvin Dietmann doesn't do ridiculous. He does rational, effective stagings. It's going to be enjoyable, but it's less special. Like instead of like an A+, it's like a B+, but it's still very good.
That's still good, yeah. Getting a B+, I'd be fine with that.
You say.
All right. Do you guys prefer when the songs are all in English, even when it is not the country native language, or when they kind of mix between English and native? Are you a language snob, Boris, or what are your thoughts?
Doesn't matter what language they sing in. Like languages, if you sing in your native language, I'm going to care less about how shitty your English is, but that's more of a me thing. Like I like picking apart bad lyrics and making fun of them because
you had a lot of fun with Georgia.
Yeah. Oh my God, Georgia! I was having.
Don't get you started.
I was like, that was the freaking biggest word stew we've ever had at Eurovision.
It was a funny thing because that was the first time I actually ever did a live reaction video, right? And people are like, "You'll love the lyrics." I like saying, "Like, man, the lyrics are well written." I totally believed my crowd, and I was sitting there like, "I don't get it. My English is not as good as I thought it was." And then I realized, "Oh, they're just pulling my leg." I'm like, "Oh."
I mean, why would we even be surprised that the lyrics in Georgia don't make sense? This is the country that gave us Nina Subladi's Warrior.
Oh my God.
Still stuck in my mind.
Still stuck.
Stuck.
What's the word she's used? The one
oxymated.
Oxymated. Yeah, I was not intoxicated. I got stuck on intoxicated.
Apparently, the word exists, but she's like the only person in the world who's used it.
I thought it doesn't mean anything. I thought it
doesn't
mean anything.
I think it actually has meaning. It's just something that they found in a dictionary.
It does.
Real quick, I want to. Language. Because I used before, for instance, I'm a big proponent of native language, but I am very much against any sort of rule that language rule at Eurovision, using some of the more like Hooverphonic. It would be weird for them to sing in native tongue. They sing in English, and forcing them to sing in either French or whatever, or in it's just not who the artist. And I'm all about freedom of your artistry and your craft. So that's why I'm against it. But I'm like, I encourage countries to do that every once in a while. I hope Sweden and Germany are listening.
I would like to hear Dutch again. There's a couple of Belgian acts that I would propose when Flanders host, or not host, but when they delegate another act.
But the act needs to match the language as well, basically what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's why I used Hooverphonic as an example.
I have a list of names that I would like to propose if they are listening in. Also, for the Netherlands, Avrotros, I also have a couple of lists for you. 2 names.
Yeah, Estine was awesome last year.
She was.
Yeah. So, let me see. Also, no new pictures because we're done with pictures. That's right. I keep forgetting about that. Because last time we had still countries rehearsing after Finland, but not today. So now we're just waiting for the clips. So that means, I guess, let's answer a few more questions at ES United in the chat. What is Boris? It's a question for you, Boris. What were Boris's thoughts on Eurosong, and what was your favorite song in it?
I obviously had Shirin first. I actually had Gustav second. I thought it was a very well-produced, very touching national final, and actually, when I grew up, Eurosong was a highlight of my life, but also a big fucking embarrassment because Belgium have a tendency of picking wrongly, of picking incorrectly consistently, or throwing really good songs under the bus and making sure that they don't win. So in that regard, I was very relieved that Gustav, who I had second out of the 7, actually managed to win, but I never expected him to. My copium basically with Belgium is that I always have songs that I don't want to win, and if anyone else wins, I'm okay. I didn't want the Starlings to win. I didn't want Gala to win. I would have preferred Shirin to win. I got 2 out of 3. That's not bad.
Yeah.
And I walked away with feeling casually optimistic that we were not embarrassing because we had delegated someone with a catchy song and a good voice. So
I'm glad Belgium happened, even though I'm not a fan of the song per se, but I'm so glad because it is a very humble experience, because I'm always trying to be very reasonable, realistic, and not get carried away with my opinions, right? And Belgium was very early in the national final thing going on, and I was tweeting obviously we don't have to talk about Gustav, he's not going to win, so it's focused on the ones that not as dismissive,
You'll be proven so wrong.
And I was like, oh my god, I was just reminded not never ever count anybody out. I had zero idea that this would win, that this had a shot. And so yeah, that was a good humbling experience. I
was backstage when it happened, and there were journalists from Songfestival.be there. There were people from Wee Blogs there, from OutTV. Every single jaw hit the floor. It was I literally stood there like this for a full minute.
Yeah.
When the vote came in, I could not believe it. I was confused.
But it's nice how the country turned around and very much supportive of Gustav now.
Yes.
It seems like it, right? That's really nice.
I mean, Shirin immediately got over her loss and supported Gustav, so I'm a loyal Shirin fan, so I follow suit.
She's wonderful. She's a trooper.
She's fantastic. I love her. She
was my favorite too.
I love her. I just want to squeeze her. She's adorable.
All right, let's see here. More questions at ESC United. Fun fact: last Swedish entry we had was actually Finland 2012. Do you remember that song, Emma? I know. Do you remember the Swedish song from Finland?
Remind me.
Oh, I cannot sing it. Because it's just what do you remember what she was? Her name was Boris.
Pernilla Nilsson. Norge blundar.
Wait, yeah. I know the name. I know the name.
When I blink or when I close my eyes.
It's not a very singable song.
I actually really liked that one when I was 22 years old and still in my let's say, annoying phase, or more annoying phase.
I was going to say less annoying phase. Yeah.
More annoying phase.
More annoying. Yes. So it was it was very pleasant. I liked it too, but it was just never competitive. And like, there was just no way that it was going to qualify. It just was too pleasant, unfortunately, for its own good, I think. But so yeah, good old days. Quiz. Okay, somebody asked a question. Edgar Allan Poe was mentioned in ESC lyrics before.
Ooh, really?
Which one?
Okay, if we don't know this, if we don't come up with an answer,
anyone?
so embarrassing.
I know, we did quizzes throughout the last few days. That wasn't asked, so
it's going to be some cheesy, shitty song from
it's like
year, right?
It came
going to be a cheesecake
18th in 1983 or something like that.
Yes.
Okay, that was I'm not gonna know.
My guess would either be something from the 70s or Cheesecake by T.O. It's one of the two, probably.
Yeah.
And if not, then I'm an embarrassment to the human race. Oh well, so be it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Don't know how you possess me.
Let me click on here. France 1990. Oh,
yes.
well.
Yes, I saw the comment and I immediately remembered Black and White Blues.
I know Black and White Blues, but I remember Edgar Allan Poe being mentioned in there because I don't speak French.
I forgot.
Well,
oh, awful!
Black and
I am a disgrace.
Yeah. So hopefully, within the next 3 minutes, we'll get that. So I'm going to hold off on asking questions because we don't want to miss that very special moment when these clips are coming in. Who are you? I mean, out of these semifinal 1 folks, which one is really the one where you're on the fence? You want to see that? I mean, there are a lot of them, I think, but I am really curious. Is there one that you specifically waiting for to come up with the final judgment? Is there one particular, Emma, that you can think of? This is the one I'm looking forward to. We're all looking forward to Finland. I think that's fair to say. So, but it's going to be great, so that's not maybe the best example. Is there another one you can think of?
Yes, maybe Czechia, because we've seen what we've seen so far, but I'm curious how it's all going to come together for them, and of course if they're gonna be chaotic or not. So I'm just on the fence a little bit here.
Czechia is going to be chaotic. It's just a question of how chaotic.
Yes.
And is it going to be good chaos or bad chaos? Like Finland is also chaotic, but it's good chaos.
Yeah, I'm trying to go through that, but Czechia is probably the one that I probably would have picked now too in hindsight. I'm trying to think who else.
It's just hard because there's multiple people, and are the harmonies going to work out? Is the choreography going to match? I don't know. We'll see.
Czechia I'm a little curious about choice.
I'm curious about Portugal because Portugal is the only one when you look at pictures because there's no props. It's just them standing. It's like, oh, is that not anything going on? How the camera work is gonna make a difference there. So I'm curious about Portugal as well, just to throw another country out there. But other than that, I would agree. Czechia is probably the one that I would probably be really, really interested in. We also have a new supporter. Thank you so much for joining us here as a supporter on YouTube, Kenny. It's if you want to support us now or throughout the year, because one thing people forget, we don't do this for 2 weeks. This is an all-year job. Yes, it's busier in certain times than others, but this is certainly what helps us. So really, really appreciate it. And Kenny, thank you so much for another super chat. Love you, Matt, and this channel. Love your coverage every year. Really would love to join your team as a hardcore Well, I'm sure you are more than welcome. Send an email to info@esunited.com, and we'll get, usually my friend Connor, who is now in Liverpool, he just arrived today, is in charge of recruitment. And then we'll find out and we'll see what your interests are, where they lie. And then I'm sure we can make it happen, because especially with Sean, that loser, leaving.
Sean is not leaving. He's just leaving the continent.
But he will also step back from Eurovision. So, he.
Oh, you're muted, Matt. Not again.
Pushing all the buttons, baby.
Yeah, still muted. Ooh, okay.
Well, Emma, I guess that's the end of the stream. See ya.
Yeah, bye. No, but it's 9 p.m. So are we guys excited? Like, are we really like?
I'm refreshing it. It better be
are
on
you?
YouTube
Wait,
now.
I
Yeah.
have to check. Okay, guys, do you have any questions?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
I think it's not even it's really the software that's doing that, because now the whole screen froze. I couldn't even click on it. Maybe I was just gonna click out of. Oh no, never mind. I have to leave it on my. I can just close it on my computer and just use my iPad, but then I can't use my equipment. That wasn't smart. Okay, so yeah, if that happens, I just have to refresh my screen. So the clip's not out yet, I would assume.
Yeah, no, nothing. Probably we're not getting it anyway. So
don't be so cynical. That's usually my job, to be cynical. And
sorry.
I think this current year, we all kind of became that. We all turned into Borises.
Yeah, well, I mean,
you were just ahead of time. You were just ahead of the time.
I'm always ahead of the curve. I also have plenty of curve to be ahead with.
And yeah, as people are screaming in the chat, happy birthday to Connor. It's his birthday today. Must be a cool thing because it's his birthday today. He just arrived in Liverpool for his very first in-person Eurovision, and coming from the US, that's a pretty big deal.
That's so cool. Happy birthday, Connor. Shout out to Connor.
Shout out to Connor. Always doing a fabulous job with the interviews and all of the other things. That he's not just doing that, he's doing a lot of other stuff.
A great, cool friend of mine whose birthday I totally did not forget until now.
No, it's been, I forgot too for a while. So I was like, because so much going on, the time difference in Eurovision, and I'm trying to.
For some reason, I remembered his birthday being the 5th instead of the 3rd of May. So bad with numbers.
I actually forgot my birthday last year until I got messages. I'm like,
yeah, but was it deliberate?
No, I just was like, I'm like, birthday. Oh, it's my birthday. It was just like I totally forgot. I'm that old now. Huh?
When is it?
November 29th.
Oh, that's nice. I like that day. So wait, Sagittarius?
Mm-hmm.
No, Sagittarius.
I'm a Sagittarius, yes.
I'm also a Sagittarius.
Oh, really? When is your birthday?
December 3rd.
Oh, just a few days later. Okay. That is
I'm a Taurus. I have my birthday. I've had my birthdays in Eurovision week almost all the time.
Amazing.
So mine is next Monday, so the day of the dress rehearsals.
Yay. Well, that's at least not on an actual live show, so at least you can celebrate it.
To be fair, my 31st birthday was insane because it was the first day of rehearsals in Rotterdam. That was the best birthday I've ever had.
Rotterdam, that was the craziest. That was your in-person Eurovision experience. Of course, it was the year where we're all masked up, and like it was the weirdest experience. Like that's the one that you got to see. So
I'm definitely hoping for like at least one Eurovision experience in my lifetime. But we'll see.
If not, come to Amsterdam next year. Sean is already gone. It will be gone by then. We'll need another drinking person.
I'm definitely coming to Amsterdam though. That's I'm definitely doing that. So.
I'll need someone to cling on to once Melanie goes AWOL again.
Yeah,
she usually does.
Yeah,
when Melanie goes off doing her Melanie thing.
I actually just watched. Boris, I was just watching, was it like a couple of weeks ago? I don't know why. I think somebody talked when I went back. I watched our video reacting to the 4 0-pointers in Rotterdam. It was just one of those. We're all just sitting there like, it was just another fun moment now, but it was just like a surreal moment.
And all I could think about was, oh my god, the winner in this is going to get like 900 points.
Yeah, like somebody, that's true.
And also Belgium is one of the zeros, isn't it? It's going to happen.
But you got like 2 points or something like that, right?
3.
3, okay, yeah.
Oh, it was not a round number, at least.
I know, right? Okay, it's out. Somebody screamed it's out.
Okay,
no way.
Somebody lied again. Did you fool me again?
I don't see it.
Is it EVU live?
Alicia said, I got it. It's out. The very anticipated cover of Satellite by Lord of the Rings. Can somebody ban Alicia from the chat? I'm kidding. Don't do it.
Rose, where are you?
Get out! Get her out!
Those goddamn Elysias, Michelle, this person.
Get him out.
This dastardly Elysius.
So that's funny. All right, well, I'll bring up more questions, and since they're clearly delayed or they did not give us the right time. We can ask a few more questions, but if it comes out, we'll just stop. I'm going to tell everyone stop talking. Bold opinion, like that as well. Bold opinion. It's bald. Coming in just like yesterday with Lithuania top 5 jury, I see Austria coming top 10 with the juries, and it's gonna snatch quite a bit of points from Karja helping Sweden. Emma, could you see a world where Austria comes top 10 with the juries?
Yes, and I think that we've speculated this before. From those entries taking points away from this one or this one. I think that there's definitely a world where, juries will be able to recognize it's not like you wouldn't think of Austria as a jury bait necessarily, but I think that in recent years, I think that we're definitely looking at the possibility of, juries recognizing Austria as a favorite as well. So I don't think that necessarily, Loreen or Karja or whoever are going to get all those points. So
I don't think Austria are going to steal points from Finland or Sweden. They're going to earn them if they are going to get them in the first place. But
I love that. That was the best way to feel, because like Sweden owns them. That's for sure. They
own all the points. She's Loreen.
I know, but do you think Austria could be a top 10 in the juries? You see that a possibility?
I mean, Austria is like the most obsequious pro-jury country other than Azerbaijan, and this is also jury bait. It's just really well disguised, but this is basically a meta entry about like the music industry and about the glass ceiling in the music industry and how difficult it is for women. Like the main reason why I was not immediately into Edgar, it took me a couple of listens, was because I felt they were really, really cunning about their clever little meta satire. Like it's that sort of thing, right? And I felt like, yeah, but your song is kind of trashy, so you're not that clever. But eventually, I converted myself to the po army.
But wait, Boris, I have a question for you, because you said, they're clinging to their little meta lyrics or meaning or whatever. Because that was the first. Like, did you on first listen? Did you make that conclusion, or was it? Okay.
No, not immediately, but like second listen.
Okay. Because honestly, like for me personally, when I heard Austria, I didn't even think about the lyrics for like at least the first 10 times listening to the song. So I think it was an earworm, like immediate.
I have auto subtitles put on all the time at YouTube, so I read the lyrics immediately. It took me a second listen to sort of pay attention to what they're actually singing. But I had subs on, so that's how I knew.
Yeah. Coming back to the discussion we've had, if native language was mandatory, the UK would have a big advantage, right? And you can make a case for Malta and Ireland.
Yes. Remember the 90s? There was a language rule going on. All the juries were voting for English-speaking songs. It was also the time where UK, Malta, and Ireland were the 3 best-performing countries in Eurovision. The 4th best was France. The 2 lingua francas of Eurovision. What a surprise. There is definitely a correlation between that. That's also the main reason why I don't want the language show ever to come back. Like right now, we're in a position where singing in your own native language is a stratagem because not everyone does it. And it's basically a unique thing that gives you personality. Once you make that compulsory, you take away the quirkiness of it all. And it's going to swing back towards Ireland, UK, and Malta. Maybe that's the way how these 3 countries are going to get a victory. Yeah. Maybe that's how it's going to happen.
Well, one thing Sadie said, Maltese speak Maltese. That may be true, but English is one of their official languages in Malta. Therefore, since it's the official language, they are allowed to sing in English at Eurovision when the language rule was still in place. And they never sang in Maltese except like in the 3 years in the 70s when they went in there.
They've had 2 songs in Maltese. They finished last and last.
Yeah. So in the 90s, there's a reason. Yeah, they returned in the early 90s, and then they were, I think, every time they were in the top 10. Except 99, I think. And then clearly they sang in English because they were allowed. So they do have that rule. That's why they were good to go. The thing that kept in my mind for hours after listening Austria's song was 0.003 and what the hell that was in the middle of the song. I personally always say don't overthink it, because most people that are listening to Eurovision, that won't matter. They're not going to go in there like, let me look that up now. They're just listen to the song.
Yeah.
And if it's not in your face, you can get it right away. Then
That's why
it'll not affect.
That's why I was apprehensive, because it was a reference to the Spotify, or the fee that Spotify charges, and I did not know that. But like after I knew, I was like, yeah, but the audience isn't going to know that either, because a casual doesn't know this shit. A casual just tunes in to have fun. They're not like, that's the problem with being too clever about your little satire. Like, you know, the audience doesn't like cleverness. They just want to have a fun time. So make sure they have a fun time first, and then worry about your satire later.
And if you want to be clever, it has to be obvious clever, right? That people get it right away. And that's not an easy thing to do without becoming across as tacky.
It has to not be like a vintage piano that people used in the 40s. Like that sort of level of pedantic is the reason why Duncan almost lost to Mahmoud, despite being the overwhelming favorite.
Thank you so much again, Kenny, for this super chat. I just put it on and it disappeared. Last year, the top 9 televote agreed with the juries, with one country being eliminated. If the juries were here, who would be the one they would save?
Netherlands.
Okay, what?
Netherlands.
You think the Netherlands?
Yes,
Netherlands would be a likely one. I would say in the semi 2, I would see Estonia being the lucky one there. But you still think they go in? But I still have them. I still have them in as well. But I'm not as convinced right now, but it would make them a certain qualifier, I would say.
I am tempted to say for semi-2, Greece.
You think? Everyone says Greece was a jurist. I guess so. Yeah, I can see that.
The song is not exactly great.
What do you think, Emma?
It is professionally produced, I guess.
I think maybe we're looking. Are we talking semi-1 or semi-2?
Both.
Semi-1. Okay, semi-1 maybe like Slovenia. I'm not really sure. Or Croatia.
Croatia would save the... Oh, you mean Croatia would be out?
Saved by juries, you mean?
Saved. Because
by juries?
Croatia would be saved by the juries? I'm sorry, I'm like... Oh, really? That's a different take I didn't see coming. So you think Croatia is actually a jury-friendly song?
Yes, I think so. Are we talking last year?
No, this year.
I'm not laughing at you.
Sorry.
Okay, I was like, both Wars and I were like, are you talking
about...
No, sorry,
I think we're... Oh my god. Okay, I thought we were talking
about... is Croatia, for the record. I know you've repressed that memory, but...
No, I was talking about guilty pleasure, and I was like, why are you so... like...
No, this year.
This year, who do you think the juries would save if they were be able to vote in the semis?
Oh, goodness. I don't know. Probably... Netherlands or
Azerbaijan. Let's be honest.
No, I don't think so. Why?
Azerbaijan always find a way with juries. They always do.
Why not?
Yeah, of course. Switzerland also. Yeah, Switzerland are also a jury pandering country.
But actually, Azerbaijan. Okay, I can kind of see it.
Oddly enough, the answer is not Malta this year. Malta, for once, actually have a song that's more likely to be televote than jury.
True.
And I still feel really scared for their chances.
No, I mean, we all are.
They're on second, so you're always like, and it's Malta. Malta is so inconsistent. Yeah. I think the only country that has like a worse televote record is Latvia. That's the only country with a worse televote record than Malta.
Really?
Yeah.
Malta seems like always very dramatic. Like, well, yeah.
But Malta they've qualified with the audience on several occasions. They've qualified with Michelle Apache. They've with Chameleon. They've qualified with Destiny. Latvia's last qualification at televote was Justs. That was 2016. Yeah. They've been MQ with the audience every single year since, while being through with the jury on several occasions.
Well, technically, Georgia is probably even worse televote result, right?
Yes, but Georgia are less consistent with juries too. I feel like
that is fair.
Georgia were through with Taco in 2017, and I think that's it. I might be forgetting someone. Iria were last. 2019. Tornike was second last, but I believe he was last with juries. I think it's the same with Circus Mirkus. Who was 2019 again? Otto? Oh yeah, Otto was also NQ with both. And Take Me As I Am would have also been NQ with both, I think. So
yeah, if anything, that would have been I could see a little bit more appeal there. I don't think it would have been last there, but
Yeah,
I still don't think it would have been
their
enough.
track record is as bad as Latvia's. They're both like the worst.
Yeah.
Malta is better because they had to.
What?
Is it up?
You guys. Oh, never mind. I'm back, right?
Yes, you weren't gone.
Okay.
No, you weren't. You started talking. We all like, what? Is it out?
No, it was cutting off for me, but it's probably on my end. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. So which of the Big 5 plus winner rehearsals are you looking forward to the most? Emma, which one is on your radar out of those?
UK, actually. I really want to see what she does. Yeah. I haven't heard anything about UK's.
No, they're keeping their everything, tight to the chest.
So tight, yeah.
Okay,
it's also May for me. Like May, I think has the one girl banger in the year that I care about. I'm not counting Austria as a girl banger for the record, but she is the only one I care about in this year, and I'm really curious to see what they can bring. They're on last. This is a very good opportunity for the United Kingdom to actually do well for 2 years in a row. They haven't had a streak like that since 2010 and 2011. Wait, no, they haven't had a streak like that because 2010 was Josh.
Yeah, well, last like you all forget about it.
For some reason, I forget Josh exists, and I always think it's like first Jade and then Blue the year thereafter.
To be fair, so did Josh, because that's why he had to change his name even after all of that.
Yeah, I think Sean is very jealous of us now for forgetting that Josh exists.
I will actually agree with you. I think UK is certainly the one, the biggest question mark and wild card out of those. I feel like Germany and Spain, we have an idea what we're going to expect there. So, the feel and what they're going to do. And Italy too. Yes, France would be number 2. Because I'm curious. But even then, I have somewhat of an idea, but maybe they can surprise. So UK is the one I'm looking forward to the most to see what they're doing, and then followed by France.
Ukraine is also like something that I'm always interested in even though I feel like Heart of Steel is like a big pile of misery. I still feel like the song, it's still Ukraine. Like Ukraine is like hyper Moldova. They're like the upgraded version of Moldova in that regard. They can turn anything into something. So even though I don't care about Forchi this year, I'm still curious to what they're going to bring, because Ukraine are almost never boring. Like time was kind of dull. They were hosting. They had a lot on their mind, but I think this time.
I just got a message from Mimicat, and she's pissed what you said about her dress.
Matt.
I didn't say anything. I said I love her dress. I'm worried about all the birds that she killed. That's all. I love her dress.
Were you trashing people again? Were you being mean online again?
I love her dress. I was a big fan of her dress. I'm just saying she probably should have put some more contrast on it to give it, make her stand out from the other backup dancers.
Black would be better than
black
red.
A little bit here, just something to make it like I'm the singer. I mean, yes, her dress is already pretty loud, but I would even be better.
Doesn't matter. She still owns.
Breaking news: videos have been canceled due to low interest. Yeah, ain't that the truth? Who cares? I mean, that's the thing though. It's 9:18 in Central Europe, and people starting going to bed like in an hour or so. A lot of people, because some people have a job.
Yeah.
So they're going to drop in the middle of the night when no one's paying attention.
It's going to break 11 o'clock for you, isn't it, Emma? By the time they're up.
Can you hear us?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. No reaction, like cold still. I'm like.
Yeah, I knew I wasn't funny, but I wasn't aware I was that unfunny.
I know, right? How close do you think the margin will be between Sweden and Finland in the jury vote? You guys can. That for me is the biggest question mark. I will say this. I'm convinced that Sweden's going to be really high in the jury vote. The question I'm not sure is how high in the jury vote. I will say I'm not convinced that Kara's going to completely flop in the jury vote either. I think that will give him a good amount of points. But are we talking 120 points? Are we talking about 200 points? That I'm not sure about. I think Kaya has the potential to surprise in the jury vote because they're not just going to rate his voice. There are other factors that they have to take consideration. So I'm not sure yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's smaller than some people anticipate. What do you think, Boris?
Well, the same discourse went on for Kalush Orchestra and for Måneskin, and they both won anyway from 4th in the jury, which was higher than most people anticipated. I definitely did not expect Italy to finish fourth with City of Buoni in the jury
No.
vote. I did
No, I
not
didn't
have them
either.
on my radar in that regard. I genuinely was convinced that the jury would kill them, and they didn't. I similarly went into 2022 hoping that jury would kill Ukraine because I had other favorites I
You may
was
want, yeah.
invested for. And then, yeah, still won. I don't think, like, I don't see, like, it's definitely possible this happens for Finland, because you can't have the same weather pattern 3 years in a row. That's ridiculous. But it could happen. I think their jury vote is fine. Like, the main thing that you have to take away from Finland is that it's just really, really good. So
yeah, that's the thing. I think it's more than just voice. And the thing is, what I said before, and yes, the results can be completely upside down between juries and televotes. But talking within reasons, you usually need at least like 175 to 200 points from the juries to win overall if you have first in the televote, because both Måneskin, who came fourth, just squeezed past France by like 20 points or something like that. So it wasn't like a landslide win. So you need to have at least a decent chunk. And that is what Kari needs to look forward to. In similar vein, you can make other cases. Ukraine is an exception just because of the unusual, unique circumstances. What do you think, though, Emma? How far or apart are Sweden and Finland going to be in the jury vote based on your hunch?
I actually think it's going to be tight. I don't agree that juries are going to tank Finland for whatever reason. I actually think Finland is bringing full package as well. And I think it's going to probably be tighter than we think. But I also can't remember, not counting Ukraine, what was the last landslide winner that we had?
Salvador.
Well, technically, it was Ukraine.
No, Salvador.
Oh,
Salvador is
then Salvador. Yeah,
Salvador is the landslide winners, the poster child of landslide winners.
It's been a while, and I think that you just need. I would actually prefer a winner that got a little bit from everyone, rather than just like a complete landslide winner.
It is more fun. Yeah,
it's more satisfying because it feels like the competition has stakes and isn't pre-decided. Yeah. But to be fair, 2011 had a very pronounced winner. 2021, I mean, had a very pronounced winner. Had a very pronounced winner, and it still felt very exciting because you just did, as the televote points were coming in, you just knew Italy had a monstrous score. But even then, they were still 25 points ahead of France. Only 25 points.
So yeah, it was, and most people, I mean, us Euro geeks, we kind of have an idea, even if you don't do your math on the paper, which I don't allow when we're on the camera. But we still have a feeling, if we already saw 3 countries that got 250 points, we know the pool of points goes down. And the average viewer, though, they don't know all of that, right? So they don't know exactly what the pot, how many points are still available. And so for them, it's still exciting. And in hindsight, it's always exciting anyways. Even like, let's say, let's use, last year you cannot, and I use an example just because it's such a weird year. But my point is the way the results are being presented right now, you don't know until the last vote anyways, right? For the most part. So it'll be exciting anyways, even if the country that came first in the jury gets first with the televoters, you don't know until it's being announced at the very end. We have an inkling because we know, okay, all these points already being given, or, oh, there's still a lot to go. Because we knew when all these 0-pointers came in 21, I'm like, okay, there are certain countries hoarding all of the points. So, but the average viewer won't know that.
It's not going to be a blowout this year, I think. I think it's going to be pretty split. But I feel like multiple countries are going to get televote points this year. Like, it's going to, like, Sweden and Finland are probably getting the most out of everyone. But I think Ukraine are still getting a decent chunk, because Ukraine is always getting a decent chunk. And that's not because of circumstance, but because they're Ukraine. Ukraine is a good Eurovision country. They always make things interesting. I think Spain are getting something, but probably not enough to win. And then, like, I could see a Norway getting points, and Austria, even Slovenia and Australia. There are countries out there that I feel like could definitely get televote potential without being sidelined. Germany, Like there are a couple of shadow faves. Like you could even see a Belgian getting like a shit ton of televotes randomly, and that's not me being Belgian. That's just
I thought more like the juries. I thought more jury friendly than televote friendly. Actually.
It feels both very friendly. It feels very friendly in both. I would not commit to the finale being very positive, but in the semi, I think a lot of people will gravitate towards it just because it's upbeat and bouncy, and the first half is kind of crickets of the second semifinal.
That is true. That's why I thought it's going to open it, but that's a different story.
I thought so too. I was very surprised when Denmark opened.
Yeah. Real quick, Sadie, thank you so much for the super chat. Love the content. It's always my favorite X-Boss. How many X-Bosses do you have? No, thank you so much for that. I really, really appreciate that. By the way, both Emma and Boris, if you have to leave now, it's getting later and then just not releasing it. I understand. You know, it's like, we don't know. There may be another hour or so until they drop. So
I'm good for probably like another hour. I just want to see if they meant perhaps UK time, 10 p.m. UK.
That would be, I mean, they didn't officially announce it. Let's be clear. There was just like people, could have been just an internet rumor, you know, and it spreads like wildfire. But it seems more from some reliable people I've heard it. And that's why I was like, okay, but then maybe they're falling for that as well. The EBU never officially made a statement, but we will see. They're probably
it's not gonna happen until the crystal ball announce it. That's just how it goes.
Oh, you're opening the can of worms here that we just tried to close down last night, and there he comes again.
Oh
no! Oh gosh, yeah, funny. Well, then we do have a few more questions, I guess, at ESC United in the chat. How many people? No, click it away. Come back. Okay. Ryan, where are you? There you are. How many people are in your team and where are they from? I don't know all of them, how many there are. I mean, keep in mind, there are 6 people going to be in Liverpool. We have, depending on what part, they have the writing team, we have the camera team, we have the forum team, we have the social media team. They're different people. So definitely over 20. I don't know how many, though. I have the number in the top of my head.
I know 5 people, I think. Like Sean is going to be there, Connor, Melanie. I think Alistair is from the UK, so he's going to be there. I know Lee is going.
I know David is going, I've heard, right?
David also? Okay, yeah, that's
I thought he is going.
It must be those 6 then.
Yeah. I guess. So 6 of us are actually in the press center.
At least 6 of us.
Yeah, at least. Well, the other ones are not in the press center. They're going to be.
But they're on site.
Okay. They're on site. Yeah. So Gabe and Sean are from the US. Melanie and Roy are from the Netherlands. Oh, that's the US, right? Yeah, I meant UK. I'm from the US. Sean and Gabe are from the UK. Melanie and Roy are from the Netherlands. And Connor also from the US. Oh, we have like 2. So 2 Dutch, 2 Brits, and 2 Americans, which is kind of how it played out. And then David is from Denmark. Alistair is also from the UK. And who else did you say, Boris?
Lee from Ireland. But I don't think he's going to the press center. He's leaving before the finale. But he's
no one else going to be in the press center because you have to get accreditation for that, but there will still be people staying.
Too many people of us. We're not all getting.
Yeah, which is good because in last year we got 1 in. It was so hard, and then
it must have been so lonely.
It was terrible. And like, it was very lonely. I mean, I had friends there, so I was hanging out with them. But even when I did like live stream, I found a table just like in the center somewhere. You remember how they were set up, right? Think of where we were sitting at, and I was the only one on there. I was like,
it's miserable.
I was like all alone. I'm like, that's why at least we have 6 now, but we're only there for 1 week, so it's kind of a weird thing.
Like, I think the people who got online press center accreditation in 2022, those were the people that really won out.
Yes, that is crazy. And in 21, it was COVID, and then a lot of people couldn't even go, and it was very tricky. So Boris was there,
and no one cared anyway about breaching COVID protocols.
Some of them didn't. A lot of them did, but some of them did not. My tweet went viral when I cursed people out. Got like thousands of likes on that one.
Like, remember those Russians that just went into the audience?
That's the one I cursed out.
Yeah, that's the one where you were like, "Fuck you!" And I'm like, he's swearing. It must be bad. It must be bad if he's swearing like that. They were also twits. I saw them in the press center.
Yeah. No matter what your beliefs are about COVID, whatever it may be, but there are rules in place, and people. It was just so ridiculous. I was so mad. So no video yet, right? People in the chat, if it's coming up, you let me know. I have a feeling this live stream is going to end without a video.
Honestly, I can see that scenario.
The
happening.
one time I come online.
I know. It's just I gave it a shot. Like I have to believe like any reasonable expectations would think like after all 18 have rehearsed, they'll have it up. You know, they just have to put them together. I can show them how to do a video. It's not that difficult. You just convert it and then you upload it. Anyways, so there are going to be any live streams during the dress rehearsals and jury shows. Yeah, that always hurts me too. But yes, but with a caveat.
You're not showing anything, right? So
no. So the EBU introduced new rules that you cannot have any sound from any of the rehearsals. So we have to do it from the hotel room, and we can't do any lessons from the press center anyways, because they have new things in the guideline that you cannot recover your costs and all that stuff. So they're getting really, really like, trying to cut us out of it. So we have to from the hotel room, that part. We will be in the press center to do videos though, like, your standard videos that you see all the time. But anything live, that's going to be tricky. Unfortunately, but don't blame us. Don't blame us. That's all new. Can the new only televote semifinal result in the end of the... Wait a minute, let me read that again. Can the only televote semifinal result in the end of the 0 points in the grand final? So I think what they're saying, that because we don't have jury-proven songs in the finals, that this would increase the chances of having another 0 pointers. I think that's what...
A 0 pointer from one of the qualifiers. I think that's what they're asking specifically. Yeah, and the answer is yes.
I think so too.
If you qualify in 10th, you're not going to be in many countries' top 10s when the field expands for the finale. Like if you're the person in 10th qualifying in the second semifinal, and suddenly you're in a field that has Loreen and Karia in it, and Alessandra, your televote, you can say goodbye to those points. And if you're not a jury-friendly song, you're going to be in deep shit.
Yeah, the what's your language? Remember YouTube? They're going to demonetize.
You're going to be in some really big, deep doo-doo.
You can spell it. I curse too sometimes,
P-O-O.
Yeah. And I mean, the thing is with juries, I mean, we saw it with the UK and technically Germany, like juries getting 0 pointers is less likely. Clearly it happens. Germany got 0 points last year. UK got double zeros, but usually because they rank them, the odds of getting 0 points is significantly decreased. Televote though, because they tend to be more, aligning behind certain songs, it is a lot more likely, which we all saw in 21. So that's basically what I usually take into consideration. What is the country the biggest chance at getting the dreaded 0 points this year? Oh, Emma, could you see a country that could get... I know, Boris, you mentioned like Czechia or Denmark potentially becoming like the last place semifinalist.
Not with 0 points.
But not 0 points, right?
No.
Do you could see a 0 pointer, Emma, somewhere?
Yes, but I don't really want to say it.
That is okay. A yes is good. If you don't want to, I can say how they make like, how would you say that?
Mute yourself country? When you say it.
Why do you hate country X?
Yeah, because I don't really.
Because it's not very good.
I want them to do so well, but there's just a chance. Okay.
Yeah, there is a chance. I personally, I don't know. This is going to be a new year as well because we never had this. Well, actually, that's not true. We had it in 2009, actually, where only the televoters chose the semifinalists. So since then, it hasn't happened. I need to look at the 2009 results. But even that is not a trend. That is just one country. So you cannot really use that to really make a broader case. Can I just say a big thank you for the coverage? I think it's an outrage that you can't cover sound from the press center. It used to be to add to the maximum for fans. Still, thanks a lot. Yeah, in the past, they just said it's background noise, just like with Anywhere, so it's not an issue. It's just the current leadership.
Maybe they hate the fans so much that they want to bore them to death. They're forced to listen to us three banter along.
I know. Like I'm used to talking.
Like we're on a Cards Against Humanity and cheese and wine evening, just bantering along like that, waiting for.
Oh, I want you to answer that one, Boris, because you tend to have strong opinions. Which country improved in their song choice the most as compared to last year? Is there a song that you're like, oh my god, last year let me walk away, and then this year they're like, oh. You can make a case for Slovenia. Did you like Slovenia last year?
What was Slovenia last year?
A disco song.
Oh yeah, disco. Oh yeah, no, it's not Slovenia. I liked them last year too, but I do.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Now. No, I liked LPS. It's not a Luma, but I would have taken it. No, I think it's Australia. I did not like Not the Same. I didn't care for it.
Okay.
I found it low-key annoying. I really liked Dreamer. I'm very happy we got Promise this year.
I'm trying to think. Emma, can you think of one?
Yes.
I'm going for my favorites right now. This way. Go ahead.
Like right off the bat, it's Armenia for me. This is so controversial. I really didn't like Snap. Like that's definitely not a song for me.
No, it's totally fine.
It's fine.
I'm just being silly. Go ahead. I'm trying to think because, okay, I have a strong opinion as well, but I don't want to say it because people are going to get really mad at me. But
they'll have to cope.
They have to cope. Just keep in mind, Country X that I'm just about to mention. I love your song this year, so just be happy about that. But I will say, Portugal. Saudade just was not to my liking. And I know, I did not like Saudade. And I loved what they did with the staging and the intimacy. And I knew, okay, that's will work for people. But the song was just never for me. And this year, I love it to bits. So, and I'm in the minority there. That's why I said it's controversial.
Portugal, for the record, Portugal went from 6th place last year to 5th place this year for me.
Oh, so they're pretty... I didn't think you were going to like Portugal. It didn't seem like a...
Why would I not like Portugal? It's upbeat and fun, and I'm built for pleasure and happiness and not for misery. So, of course, I'm going to like Portugal.
Okay. Thank you so much, Aaron, for your super chat. Do you think we will have a 21 situation of multiple 0 points this year as Sweden and Finland devour the points? Emma, do you see? I know you know countries. I know you said you have a potential 0 pointer in the finals, but could you see multiple ones?
Maybe.
No. For me, it's a no, because we finally get jury votes in the finals. So I don't think that's necessarily like a possibility. But you will color me surprised.
I will say, because I think they're referring to only to the televote, even though they said vote, because we had 4 0-pointers, but we had only 1 complete 0-pointer. In terms of televote, I can see it happening because, as Boris pointed out, one of the televoters, 10th, 9th place, whatever you think, has too much competition now in the grand final and could be the one that doesn't get the points and will be the one that's missing out. However, I don't believe that it will happen to multiple ones, like 4 of them. I think I can see like 1, 2 if it's really unlucky. But all the 0-pointers that we had in 21, they were all direct qualifiers, right? They were not tested. We have also direct qualifiers this year, but I think just looking at the songs, I find it very difficult to believe that any of them would get 0 points. So that's why I don't think that's happening.
It's also just whoever qualifies in 9th or 10th is not going to qualify with just 1s and 2s. They're going to have a couple of big scores in there.
Because you need like 40 or 50 to qualify, right? Usually,
and those scores are going to persist into the finale. So if you like qualify with like a bunch of 3s and 4s, but then get like an 8 from someone, then that 8 is going to be converted into a 6 or a 5. And then you at least have points from the televote. I think most countries have an ally that's going to vote for them. Like the countries that are going to struggle in a televote traditionally are things like Malta, Austria, Switzerland, if they're there, Netherlands maybe. But I feel like Netherlands are going to get a vote from Belgium regardless. So I wouldn't even say
they're just like 1 or 2 points, even if you just get low points. Although Germany doesn't have when Germany sucks, they don't get points from Austria, Switzerland.
Yeah, but Germany have a televote-friendly song for the first time in years.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Not in general. Yeah, that is true. I think so too. That's why I don't see any of you would have to look at the direct qualifiers, and I don't see any of these songs completely like 0-point flopping. They're just all quite popular, or at least have a niche. And I think this is the year where we could, for the first time in 10 years, see a semifinalist coming last. I'm not for sure. As Boris found out, maybe Paris, the country
Denmark.
of Paris. No, I meant to say France. France could really just completely flop, but I don't see that happening either.
I don't think France are last. I think they're maybe bottom 5. I think they're
people are saying recap coming up.
Yes,
finally.
I don't see it.
Eurovision's song contest on Twitter, the official account posted the second rehearsal clips coming very soon.
Oh, well, they're very soon. It's
hopefully,
subjective.
Hopefully before we die of boredom and starvation.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true. So, oh, I see it. It's the upcoming 200. The problem is, y'all, I cannot show it live on camera here as it live premieres, because that is considered another live stream, and you're not allowed to show another live stream on camera. So I need everyone to have it up in the background, and then we'll share it after they streamed again.
Let's do that.
I've opened it. I assume we put ourselves on mute while we listen, right?
Oh, I have headphones on.
Yeah, me too, but...
Oh, no, that's fine. As long as you have headphones on, you're fine. You don't have to mute yourself.
I'm still going to mute myself because I'm going to have an involuntary sonic
Well, I need
reaction.
to talk a little bit. So everyone have it up, and I'm not going to share it right now for the reason just mentioned, but I will comment on it, and Emma, feel free to gasp or cry and scream, whatever you want to do. So we got 2 minutes and 17 seconds on my end for the live stream. Just and make sure, in case you don't know, go to the YouTube live stream. Osiris, you posted the link already. Keep posting them. Thank you. And if not, go directly to Eurovision's website. 2 minutes and 3 seconds left. So if you need a drink, get up now. And my sound's not working either. Ah, I'm on mute. God, now so long. And this is the new method doing. It's a different nervousness, because, you know, this is also the first thing I'm seeing here.
On a screen and shit.
No, I know, I'm just singing the song, the intro song.
God, you're gonna get copyrighted.
I know, just for that. How many people are in there? 2,738 watching right now on YouTube.
Okay,
I've never done it like this before. It's such a weird, and I have to pee so bad right now. It's real, and I've only.
Yeah, you can go now.
50 seconds.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I went. Okay, so 2 minutes. Yeah, I can nail that notch. Okay, well, we're finally getting it. Our wait will be over in
less than 30 seconds.
Less than 30 seconds?
Yes.
Oh.
Are you guys excited? What a rush. I agree. Okay, I'm going to mute myself now because I don't have headphones.
Okay, then I'm the only one talking. So then the two of you, I'm going to take you off camera then just until the end of this. Then we can talk it through. Hey, nervous. Oh, there's talking. Oh, I didn't know they're going to do that. Okay. So they got to choose their clips. So here we go. Okay. This is exactly what I envisioned. Hey, the glow sticks, they're pretty prominent. Okay, they're giving us the high note to show off, huh? Ooh, that's nice. That's a nice shot. You can see the LED floor. Oh, we didn't get it. I just love the colors on this one. I just can't get enough of it. I think Malta is completely overlooked here. Oh, they even have like little just screen things. Oh, they're not starting the card. They show up in there. This should have gone first. It just really gives people good energy. Love the choreography. Oh, video game effects. Okay, see you in the final, Serbia. We good. We good. Ah, love it. Like it has like the ball. Oh, as a gamer, I'm Serbia. I'm absolutely into it. It's like next generation staging at Eurovision. Ah, that's an interesting choice. This particular clip. It's not a very telling clip for Latvia. So certainly mood-wise, it's an interesting transition there, but you don't see much on this clip. Yes, a very red staging of Portugal. The voice is great, but that's expected. I still wish I would have had more colors in the staging because it's just red and then there's a. The song's so good, but I'm not sure about the staging. Um, Now we went to golden. Might be different. We might be. Oh, I don't like the sound is weird. Or is it just mine? See the backtrack that is pre-recorded? It's not working with his live vocals, I find. This is kind of what we expected, right? Here come the crazy backdrops. Ooh. Sounds also a little rough there. Well, it's fun. We didn't get the good parts from Croatia. Oh, we're getting another break here. Oh, yeah. So, let's see. Oh, this is what makes a good singer. Very smoky. This could be a goosebump moment. I still don't know if I like the dancing, but yeah, I don't know if the dancing was needed in my book. Ooh, ooh. Okay, Israel was like, "I'll show you the real clip." That is deliberate. People will talk about Israel after this. They're showing the end. Oh, okay. This will be the talk of the. Yeah, yeah, slaying. That was clever of Israel. Very, very clever. See, this is so beautifully done, and with a big contrast as well. This is I knew that the floor would be so impactful on several performances. I cannot wait to see the whole thing. Ooh, okay. Maybe it was in my headset, the voice was not quite that strong right now. Okay. It looks great. It looks great. Just vocally was a little off. Oh, they're doing split screen in Azerbaijan. Oh, this is sweet. I knew they're gonna do stuff that looks sweet. I mean, I'm not saying they're going to qualify now, but I think they're capturing a nice feel and moment there. Okay. I like this one. Ooh, very strong and aggressive backtrack. LED, I mean. I mean, this is also my least favorite part, rap, but, you know, that's not the part I would have chosen for the clip. Oh, here comes Netherlands. Oh, the staging is really pretty, actually. I will say that. And they sound fine. It's just very soft. Oh, and then Finland. I wouldn't want to go after Finland. I just don't. Oh. Yeah, I almost wish I would have chosen the fun pop part because I wanted to see what. Oh, that's where they come out. Oh, clever clip. Okay, so at least we know when they're coming out. Okay. Oh, they're showing us more. Oh no, tomorrow. Wow. Okay, so there you have it. I'm sure everyone has a lot of opinions, so I got to bring in Boris and Emma again. Here's Boris, and here is Emma. So many thoughts, so many things to talk about. Some surprises, some good surprises, some not so good surprises. I'm going to ask you all as well because I didn't have them. I'm still processing. I need to get up a list from the countries here because I keep forgetting which countries we're talking about.
I made like notes on my phone.
Same. I wrote down things.
I didn't write down anything because I was talking. But let's do this. Let me refresh my screen, and everyone in the chat, of course, will talk about it as well. But I want to at least bring up the clip. I have to sometimes mute it and all that stuff, you know, just to avoid any copyright stuff and pause it and all that. But at least want to use that as a reference here. So let me bring that up. Just be patient.
My timeline on Twitter is like going into a meltdown.
What's going to a meltdown?
My timeline on Twitter.
Oh yeah, I did.
Of course they are. I thought Lorraine had one of the worst clips in that sequence. It doesn't matter.
I was surprised.
If that was still doing well, don't fucking panic.
No, I'm not panicking, but I was surprised.
Yeah, not you, but like all the Twitter people. It's like, oh my god, she doesn't look like winner.
Oh, she's not going to qualify now.
Oh no, she has one of the worst clips. Like
no.
This happens every single year with Sweden.
I know.
Every single year, I swear, and they're still going to be top 5 in the semifinal.
I remember even 2012 when she swallowed that snowflake in the dream final.
She choked on a snowflake. She's gonna die. I'm so like, shut up.
She's gonna collapse. Okay, so let's start with the first one, then we work our way through. Okay, I don't need this. Hang on. Nothing against you, Ryan. Love and
Rylan is amazing, but we don't need him.
We'll listen to you during Eurovision. So we have, of course, Norway here. My personal opinion is that kind of expected what I thought was going to happen. I did like one part that they had with the LED floor where they show up. I think it was orange.
I mean, towards the end, orange.
Yeah, at the end, right?
In terms of dynamism, I think this looks kind of slow.
Like, you think so? The camera work?
Yeah,
like cuts? Or?
No. Her movement. Like when she walks towards us, like she's very slowly prancing, but the pacing of the song is very quick. it somehow manages to take a bit of the momentum out. I hope it's not the entire song.
Okay, I just think she vocally wouldn't be able to do this, and she knows it. So I think
she
doing
sounded.
I
think.
Yeah. And that is legit. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think in Amsterdam, I would probably say that Alessandra was the worst vocalist there.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I thought she sounded, from what I'm hearing.
I thought she sounded the worst. She sounds a lot better now here.
Yeah. Now, also have better quality, TV quality, and all that stuff. Now, keep in mind, and your comment is very legit. We also need to remember these are rehearsals, so they will not give really 100% yet.
No.
So there will be hopefully more energy.
She sounds fine. She sounds fine, which is probably better because she sounded very rough at the pre-parties.
And that's one thing I will also agree with this, with unscripted. She was very stiff, and it's too many wide shots, which does not look the best instead of having close. Yep. I do one thing is she's not. You can say she's not like a dancer, right? And that is fair. I would probably look way more stiff than she, so I'd be the last one to complain. But it's certainly something that stood out to me as well.
To be fair, wide shots are not that big of a problem at the end of the performance, which is what we saw. You really need to connect with your audience, so wide shots at the start are the real killer.
Mm-hmm.
At the end, it doesn't really matter all that much.
Yeah, then you already have. Okay, here's Malta.
I made a note on Malta.
Go ahead.
I made a note on Malta. 3 words. Malta are in! Exclamation mark.
Exclamation point.
It looks really, really good. I mean,
yeah. What do you think, Emma?
This is appeal.
I think they great choices, and I think that I love how they named Act 2. I wanted to say Phase 2.
Yeah.
I love how they made a story, like a theater show out of it, and I love that they're like. And it's so colorful and it looks like so much fun. And if I have to choose like a colorful performance from Eurovision 2023, I think I would choose them.
Yeah. Somebody said in the chat too much color. I'm like, that's like saying too much cheese. It doesn't exist. So let's do this here. So we have the car moment. I thought initially they're going to start out in the car logically, but no, that's actually the Act 2.
No, they start with the cardboard cutouts, don't they?
Yeah. Yeah.
I just love how this is like such a fucking introverted art anthem. They start flippin' introverted anthems almost, because they like start with the cardboard cutouts and then they just go. Then they're like, just too many people. We'll just drive home and make our own party at home in our tent made of jumpers. It's like, oh.
I'm trying to. Everyone in the chat, I'm looking at it. I just kind of bring up the question every time. So Aussie Rose says, I have Malta in my qualifiers. Malta was great. It would be a fun addition on final night. Yeah, the only thing that probably at this point works against Malta is the running order. And not just that they're second, but they're also surrounded by pretty hefty competition, and all the qualifiers come from this early running order. Somebody has to miss out, I would think, but maybe they'll prove us wrong. Let's move on to Serbia, going all in on the video game theme. Emma, what are your thoughts on this one first?
Okay, so huge improvement from what I've expected. I love the video game visuals they added. They look very, very slick. And I love the camera work choices they made with the close shots. It feels like it's taking you in like right there with them. And I think that's super important for this performance in particular, because I don't think wide shots are working for them. So I think this is a very good choice.
Yeah. And Boris, you like the song. So are you disappointed, happy?
No, I think this is roughly what we saw at Pesma as well. So this is basically what I would have hoped for Serbia. The doubts that I have about their qualifications still stand. It's really just a Marmite song in general. So
I was going.
This changes nothing.
This had one of my biggest reactions, I think, because I'm a gamer, so I love everything about it.
It's very Metroid, right? It's very Metroid.
It has very Metroid. Yeah, it has that kind of theme there, but just how they really embraced what it kind of is, and rather than shying away from it. And again, this is just 30 seconds. We still got 2.5 minutes to go on that one, and maybe it gets too messy at some point. But based on the snippet that they wisely chose, I think kind of Malta also did a great job choosing a really good clip. Other countries not so much, I think. This is really, really promising. Let me see whatever. Very Metroid indeed, somebody else says as well. He's a gamer too. This is that's cool. Very Metroid, somebody else. So yeah. So lots of people agreeing with that. So I'm going to ask some more specific questions after this as well, everyone, if you want to. Latvia. I will go first on this one. I will say, what?
Nothing. Go ahead.
Okay. On this one, I was actually a little surprised of the clip that they have chosen because it was very, very non-descriptive. Unless it's really going to be like that the entire time, which I don't believe, because I saw more interesting visuals. I would think for the rehearsal clip, and this is what something the team chose, right? They had it saying what they're going to pick, but they would go something a little bit more like people would immediately get sucked into. Here was like, it's a very non-descriptive, and that is not telling me much. And if anything, it looks a little dark. That was my impression. So I was a little bit more like, what do you think, Boris?
To me, it looks, the impression that I have is that they're attempting to build an intimate atmosphere. And I could definitely see if this sort of keeps up on the same theme, that it could be a very intimate performance. And I think that's also their way into a finale. If they want to qualify, they have to make sure that they're like a calming, soothing, intimate presence after like the madness of Luke Black and the busker. And of course, Mimi Kato comes right thereafter with another over-the-top song. So they really need to be intimate and introverted. They're succeeding at that. But it's, of course, a clip from perhaps the 30 least important seconds of the song.
Yes. Which makes me think that must have been deliberate. I don't know. What are your thoughts, Emma?
This is a hill I'll die on. Like Latvia this year. I just think the color scheme and the lighting is like it's so well done and so well chosen. I understand what you mean when you say, oh, it's a little bit too dark, but I think it works, based on the song and maybe based on that particular moment. Again, we have 2 more minutes to see, but I just think the voice is everything. His vocals are on point. Ugh, love everything about this.
Yeah, I think Latvia are a contender for best vocals in the year.
Really? I don't know about that. I mean, his voice is nice,
I just don't want to say Spain because that is boring. But in terms of male vocals, it's probably Latvia, right? And I feel like the vocals are also used really well as to progress the story. So this is not like showing off different techniques just for the sake of it. This is like we're giving different emotional ranges so that we can progress the story of the song. And I feel like that's a very clever use of vocals as well. And he's really good. He was very good in Amsterdam too.
What I will say though is, if once the actual recap comes up, they plan, they should not use this clip, because one thing you want to do in a recap, remind people why the song was good and why we liked it. I don't think this is the clip that would really carry that.
It's going to be the big note, almost certainly, for Latvia.
I hope so.
That's their main USP, the vocal range that they are giving, plus intimacy.
That's what I'm hoping. So let me see what people are saying. They should have used the vocals. Oh, no, that's not something. Somebody says yesterday, it's supposed to be kind of a lullaby, so I think the lighting works. This wasn't the best clip. If I was voting based on this, I wouldn't be qualifying. So what I said about the recap, they're not giving us much. I don't think it's enough for Latvia, somebody is saying. And the delegation chose the clips, what they chose based on the best vocals available on the most unique things. Yeah, so I'm not sure. That's certainly not the most unique things, but as Emma pointed out, she feels that this captures the essence of the song well. So the feel, the lighting. So it's important. I still think, regardless of that, I still think for this recap, choose something different. All right, now on to Portugal. Emma, why don't you go first? What are your thoughts?
Okay, so I think that she's definitely like super energetic with this performance. Like she's giving it all. Again, I'm not really on board with this one. It feels a little bit chaotic to me, but like not in a great way chaotic. She's a good performer and I'll stick to that, but yeah, this is not my thing.
Boris?
Where's the couch? Like one of my
knew that you didn't know it wasn't there?
No, I did not know.
Oh yeah, they announced it like immediately.
It's sad because the portion where they're just on the couch and she's like bobbing her head back and forth is my favorite part of the original. Oh well, it's still very fun. But where's the backdrop?
Yeah, so
it seems a bit.
I'm with you. Go ahead.
It seems a bit underwhelming for what it was at the rehearsal at the national final.
I'm with you on this, Boris. I was we both like, it's high up in my ranking as well, Portugal. Like, I love this song to death. Too much red. They're all red, dressed in red, and there's a lot of reds, and the lighting just almost swallows them. And she sounds great, first of all, but she couldn't hit a bad note if she tried. So the vocally was fantastic. I just think that the visual aspect of it, it's dark in the back, and then you have lights, but I feel like they should have had more, like maybe some green in there. And that's no pun to the Portuguese flag. It just kind of works, the red and green, you know, just something to bring up a little bit more that feel. And I think they're trying to have the cabaret look, you know, because it's dark and there's a spotlight on them. But I don't know, I was missing something here as well, unfortunately. Although Mimi Cat may just be powerful enough to do this all on her own. Boris, what are your thoughts on Ireland's clip?
Oh, poor Ireland. Well, I like the part where he just walks to the satellite stage, as you see.
Did you lose me, or did I lose Boris?
Parts of
What's happening?
Is Boris losing us, or am I losing you, or is Boris cutting out?
No, I think we're losing Boris.
Okay.
No!
Okay, there you
go. No, we heard the no. Go ahead, Shuttle.
I'm a really big sucker for floor LEDs, so I really like this shot where Connor just walks up to the satellite stage and then bends over and then goes with his hand towards the thing. I really like that shot. I also feel like he doesn't look particularly engaging here. It's, of course, the second run-through. He might be tired.
How do we know it's a second run-through?
Yeah. I mean, it's the second round of rehearsals.
Oh, round of rehearsals. Okay, I thought there was a second run-through.
It might, and usually the clip is from the last rehearsal of the 2 or 3 that they get.
Usually,
4.
Yeah.
So he might be winning. It sounds a bit strained, but not majorly so. I think Ireland's big problem is always the song and not so much the rest. Staging is nice, though. I don't know. It's cute.
Emma?
I feel like they haven't really used any of the potential that they had for the staging, or even like the lights on the stage or anything else on the stage. I just feel like if you don't have a particularly like a song that particularly stands out, you could do like that final shot where everything's kind of going berserk. Mm-hmm. That was a little bit interesting, but like I can't really make a conclusion based on just that. For now, it just feels like they definitely have not used the potential of what they had there.
That's a very important point you made at the very end in particular. Is like, as we're moving on to the next clip, it's like, oh, wait. And then it's like, oh. Mm-hmm. So it's exactly how I felt as well. Because if this would be the entire performance, I'd be like, too much gold. You know, I need a little bit more. And they use some of the, I wouldn't say cliche is the right word, but certainly the expected staging, pyros, the stairs we've done before, you know, all these things that are familiar to our eyes. And then just everything about it felt a little familiar. I do agree with Boris. I really was digging the floor LED. That was the best part, I think, the way it was shot and angled. So that was my favorite part as well.
It's really sad that that's probably going to be the best part of the entire 3 minutes.
Yeah, I think so. And I don't know if we will see, based on this clip, I'm not sure if this is truly enhancing it, because what I liked about the song is a little bit more of like an anthem. We all tonight, we are, and that is not coming across, getting the audience engaged, and we'll see if that's going to happen at a later point.
Connor kind of looks like he doesn't want to be there, but let's be honest, there was a certain 2021 contestant who also gave that impression very, very strongly during rehearsals, and they did very, very well in the finale. Well, very well. Very better than expected.
I just feel like maybe they've gone through a lot this season, so you know, I wouldn't blame them for feeling some type of way, you know.
Yeah, it for me wasn't like, I mean, yes, he was more focused than like performing. That is fair. What I also felt that his voice did not work well with the vocal backtrack. Like, you know, you can really tell that this was recorded, and it just didn't mash as well as I would have liked. But I do think that we are basing it all on these 30 silly seconds, and it could all be a whole lot more, you know, as we saw at the very end. Oh, it's happening. And then it's like, oh, now it's over. So let's wait for that whole clip to come up. Let's move on to the next one. Croatia. So I will say that I wouldn't say that this particular changes my mind how I feel about the song. It is similar to the national final performance. It is the same spirit, just of course adjusted to the big screen. While there are really cool, nifty moments that they have in the song that I really liked, I kept repeating that about the whole the counter melody with the choir, and that is really cool. And I couldn't even see the juries appreciating that. But I don't think the issue that I have with the song, the visuals, I can overcome with this. But there are some, and he sounds a little shouty. Go ahead.
If I'm going to be honest, I feel like they're attempting a constructor, but they're looking really silly as a result. But that's just my opinion. I have Croatia in my bottom 3. The humor does not land with me. I just see this and I'm like, oh, this is kind of stupid.
Yeah. How about you, Emma?
Yeah, I just can't get into it. I think that obviously I don't think they changed much from the national final. Maybe a little bit of better camera work, which is a plus. Other than that, just I mean, nothing's really working for me in this song.
Yeah, I think it'll be the polarizing entry within the fan base. You know, a lot of people will love what they're seeing because they like the song. Because there's a lot of support for the song. You know, for people who get it. Those who don't get it, I don't think this staging, from what I see, will win them over. Like, will change their mind. I don't. And I am in the same place as I was before with it. I will wait again for the whole thing. But based on what they are providing us, and since they don't allow us to see everything, there you go. We have to prejudge them. Your fault. I still have I wonder if I'm not alone in that. That just it is visually just too jarring for me to get into, and that people will feel the same way. But maybe people will actually completely get and think it's fun. But
hopefully the selfie backdrop kills them. That would be my hope.
All right, next clip. Oh wait,
no. First, some Rye time. It's Ryle on the clock.
And sorry, I'm moving up. Oh, did I move too far? So we have Switzerland next.
My second note was on Switzerland.
Go ahead.
It was Remo equals Roxanne. What the hell is going on here? And the answer is way too much at the same time. What is he going for?
A completely different opinion.
No, I actually think this is not that promising. There's a lot of shit going on at the same time, and he's also trying to get the vocals out and the message out. I feel like it might be a bit too much of everything.
So Emma disagrees. You like it?
I love it. This did not, like, the song, Switzerland song, does not even like come into my mid scoreboard before, but with this one, I'm thinking of changing that, because I feel like camera work is amazing in this one. I think, you know, we keep talking, there's so much red this year. Everyone is using red. There's too much red. There's too much black. For this one, though, I think it works. It has a great contrast. I think that the choreography that they chose elevates the song, and he sounds great. He sounds amazing.
Yeah. So yeah, he's a great singer, and that is certainly the biggest asset as well. Like, he looks also a lot more comfortable like a Roxanne. I get what you're coming from, Boris. Roxanne always felt like this.
Yeah, I mean, we've been there with the rehearsals in 2021. We saw what Roxanne was capable of doing. Like, this is not nearly on the same level of vocal disaster, but
no, he sounds good.
Staging wise, it is sort of the same problem as she had.
Well, here's the thing. So I actually like the song. I liked it. I was like, I'm upper half for sure. I was confused. I was very, very interested when I saw all the clips of commercials here about the stage. I'm like, oh, maybe it's going to look really, really good. And when I see this right now, I am actually more distracted by the dancing than find it interesting. But we are coming also maybe halfway into the visuals. So just getting it throws me off. I need to see the whole part of it. I think that's what's
jumping in medias res is always like a downside, because if you build it up well, it can be a qualifier.
Yeah,
but we'll see. I think Switzerland have always been on the cusp. They're still on the cusp.
Yeah, we'll see.
Changes nothing.
Now Israel, I'm going to go first on this one. Israel knew what they were doing when they decided to send this clip, basically the end of the song, which is the instrumental piece, right? Oops. No, I gotta do this again. I'll find it. it's clearly that this is the moment that people will talk about. Like, have you seen Israel's hair flipping back and forth? It's like grabbing you from the very beginning, just this 30-second clip, and you want people to talk about you. You want people to be interested, and this is what you do. That's the clip you want to use. I'm not saying the rest of the performance won't be as engaging, but this is a moment. And very cleverly chosen, very smart. I think this looked great, and I knew that Israel, regardless of what you may think of the song, because I know most of us are in the group are not big fans. It's not catered to us, the music, right? I think all three of us are on the same page there. But I can go in this and acknowledge, objectively saying this looked fantastic, and it's a very smart choice. What do you think, Emma?
I disagree.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like I'm always in the minority. Maybe I don't understand contemporary dance or something. I feel like she's just flip-flopping on the floor there. Yep. Other than that, but there is a part of the rehearsal clip where she moves with the dancers. I think that looks a lot more cohesive and much better. But this part, it's also really underwhelming that they chose this part exactly for me. I think they should have saved this for the live performance, for the show.
Okay, now I'm going to insult it because I think it's the best part of the song. I think because the problem that the song has...
I think that says it all if you think that's the best part of the song.
Incohesive, the way the song progresses in the different genres that it has. I think this is a really cool moment at the end, and they knew that this would probably be me. For someone who doesn't know, this is a very good first impression of the song. And it doesn't sound like anything like the rest of the song. So I'm not saying like I think this is a great song. I'm saying they very smartly and chose this clip for a reason. Boris, go ahead.
I effectively agree with Emma on everything that she said. This is desperate and low-key embarrassing.
Oh no, I don't agree with that.
Oh, I
it's embarrassing when they're dancing. Look at that screen. And
I made a note for Noah as well, where Noah is. No, I find it embarrassing. You don't. I know you're a kind person. I'm a dick. It's just how it goes. The thing with Noah is that she's very desperately trying to establish that she's in the same ballpark as like a Slow-Mo or Fuego, but I feel like she's on the same level as an El Diablo at best. And I feel like the fact that they're showing this clip isn't really promising, because this is the thing that sort of paces out the rest of the song. It should be the highlight. Why dazzle us with a highlight? Why not hold back a bit?
Right? Like that should be like
exactly. It takes away the mystery. It seems almost as if the Israeli delegation cunningly is going for buzz now, because they know that when the whole 3 minutes are going to be released, it's not going to be as hot. That's almost the impression that I have. That's what this is making me think. I think this is going to do about as well as an El Diablo.
I don't know. Because when I see the other pictures with that cube and the music video effect, I think that's going.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks a bit better.
That looks so much better. I agree with you, Matt, on that one.
Yeah, right. But I think it's still going to look good. I don't know that this looks bad. And I guess we disagree on this one. Agree to disagree.
Agree to disagree.
All right,
which is fine.
Moldova. Why don't you go ahead on this one, Boris?
Looks a bit low budget. Like, the pictures looked really, really good here. But I also feel like this sometimes veers a bit into amateur hour as it goes on. Like this bit, for instance, or the fact that he's like flailing around. I don't know. I have like 3 really big staging pet peeves. One of them is selfie backdrops. The second one is sunglasses. And the third one is headset microphones. I don't really like the idea that he's like standing here dancing a sirtaki on his own. Like, you're not a dance instructor, darling. You're a singer. You're singing a song. Use a handheld. Unless, of course, you really can't, are physically incapable of doing so. And that sort of takes away the immersion for me, personally. It's a me thing. That's why I'm not that impressed. That's why I'm not that impressed by Moldova. I do feel like the whole is probably going to look a lot better, but the clip that they chose is not particularly enticing.
Emma?
I also agree with Boris on this one. I was hoping for more. It feels a little bit underwhelming to me. I'm not really sure about the dancing part, or if it's just camera work that's not really working. Yeah, I don't know. Like I love Moldova and I love this song and I'm hoping they do well, but just based on this rehearsal clip, I wanted a little bit more.
Yeah. I enjoyed it. It's to me, it's more of a. I feel like I got a taste of the whole performance. I know that this is just a part of the whole visual experience that we're gonna get. I personally don't feel it's amateurish at all. Once again, it's just a piece of the puzzle of the whole, because I feel like they're gonna tell a little bit of a story, a timeline almost there, and I would agree if this was all that's going to happen on stage, I would be underwhelmed as well. But I feel as this is just a glimpse, kind of what it meant to be for us. So I am actually quite more optimistic about Moldova here in the staging. I like the look of it, and I'm vibing with it. So I like it a little better. Let's go to Sweden. Emma, why don't you go first? What are your thoughts when you heard that?
Oh, shaky vocals. A little bit.
I thought I didn't want to go first for that reason. Sorry, go ahead.
Shaky vocals. Not really sure if they made any particular changes from the national final. I think it takes me a little bit away. Like the camera work in this one. I'm not really that as impressed as I thought I would be. But I want to reserve any particular judgment because, again, you know, we know this is like Loreen. She's going to do amazing anyway. But just based on this snippet, there are better choices in this particular run through.
Yeah. I just want to echo what Boris said, a very important disclaimer. Let's not get also too carried away. I know I agree with you. Her vocals were surprisingly shaky in this one. But people already freaking out over it and all that. I'm sure Twitter's burning down right now. Don't get hung up on that. It is rehearsal. I'm surprised that they shows this clip with those vocals. That they went with that one. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. Yes, it wasn't the best vocal performance, but we have ways to go. We remember Belgium 2017, Blanche. Remember, she was like,
yeah,
it was like, oh my God, it's gonna be a disaster. And then the show comes around and she's like, ah, you know, so let's not freak out about it too much. That being said, I'm not like it's in general, I'm just people, because I know it's people in the chat and everywhere. But as you said, it's the staging that we know. I will say I was surprised because I was like, the camera work will be so good and it's not going to matter. It does feel a little small of the screen now. But the problem is also we've seen the big screen and we've seen
the bigger one.
Yeah, so we know what could have been. We understand why. So I'm like, oh, it's so small. But for the average viewer who has never seen it, I don't think it's going to make a difference.
It's
like,
probably
oh, that's a cool effect.
Like, whoa, that's amazing, you know?
Yeah.
So
yeah. How about you, Boris?
Bad. Not qualifying. I kid. This is second place.
In the International. No.
I kid. This is second place in the semi-final, very clearly, right? I mean, the rehearsal footage is what it is. It's probably the weakest clip on paper, but let's be fair. It's Loreen. The expectations were high, and it's rehearsal footage. And like I said before, Tiss's rehearsals were not that hot. Cornelia's rehearsals were not that hot. The live shows will come along. This will click together, and it will get second in the semi-final, and maybe first in the finale. And that's it. No need to worry. No need to panic unless you really, really like to be dramatic for the sake of drama.
Well, we need to start some drama. Last place. No, it's like you summed up.
11th place.
If let's say if this is going to be the same vocally on what used to be the jury night, right? Monday evening, it's going to be just vocally as bad. Then we can start talking, you know, like, okay, she didn't sound good again. Let's, you know, but one clip, 30 seconds, hold your horses.
To be fair, Loreen is really badly disadvantaged here for two reasons. First of all, she's a returnee who comes back with a song that is not as good as the first one. And second, Käärijä closes. Everyone will be talking about Finland because Käärijä is the one that's closing and not Loreen. She's actually like... She has her privilege. The fact that she's Loreen is a very big boon in her favor, but let's also not forget that this running order favors Finland really badly, and it might carry over into the finale as well. Okay. We'll have to see, but we'll discuss Finland when we get there, I'm assuming.
No, we're not. Okay, so let's do the next one. Azerbaijan. I will go first on this one. I will say, and this is not going to say like this is now qualified. I thought it was a very charming performance. Like it looked way better than I thought it would on camera. Once again, I'm not saying, well, this is now a contender. I just think from considering what the song is and what they've done with the staging, I find that the visuals very appealing. I like this split screen, which is not revolutionary. I understand that, but I always been a fan of this setup. Left one color, right on the other one. That's a split heart and one of each side. It looks good. What I seen with the camera work, the zooming, and the way it went, I was very impressed. Again, I'm talking about the visuals here right now. So I was quite happy with what I saw. How about you, Boris?
It's sweet. Like it's cleverly staged. It has a little bit of engagement. The problem that I see is that the tricks that Azerbaijan are using here are tricks that would appeal to juries and not to televoters. Like split screens are nice, breaks are nice, like the intimacy is nice. I don't see televoters going for this. It's just not a very televote-friendly song. And Azerbaijan is not a very televote-friendly country. So...
I wish I no, that's not true, but unfortunately you are not incorrect. So it's a shame.
I like it, but I do think it's not competitive enough for televotes compared to other songs in the semi.
What was your impression, Emma?
Right. Yeah, I essentially agree with everything that you guys said. Only I would love them to avenge Denmark 2021. But yeah, but that's just me probably. I don't know. I don't feel it feels a little bit forgettable in this lineup. So yeah, I don't really know what else to say. It's nice.
That's okay. Yeah, that's the kind of song. It's a very nice staging. Is it going to make the difference? Probably not. But I'm glad they're trying. That they have at least come. So we're here to do something pretty. We're not just going to give up, if you will. So I appreciate it. So this is Czechia. This is one of the ones we were talking about. Boris, why don't you go ahead first?
Yeah, I made a note for Czechia, and it was 4 words. What the hell, Czechia? This staging doesn't really work for me. I think they sound a bit strained, but that's how they've always sounded, so I suppose it could be worse. But I'm not inclined to sing along and be with them and join them in their...
It's not a sing-along song.
In their feminist cabal. My Sister's Crown is one of the best sing-along songs in this year. It's really fun to sing along with. This chorus does not entice me to do that. So one of my main reasons to like this song is gone. Styling-wise, why do they all look the same? This is a styling choice, right? An artistic choice.
Yeah.
But it doesn't work for me. I feel like there needs to be a little bit of distinction because, again, you have 6 women competing with each other. They look the same. It looks a bit more like a unit now. But the 3 that are not singing still feel superfluous. They're just glorified dancers at this point, which is a pity.
Okay.
I don't think the staging really uses the potential that the song has, and the potential the song has is really big.
Emma.
Right. On this one, I have to completely disagree with Boris. I think they look very good. I think that good choices were made when it comes to camera work, and I love this particular part where she's going into with the camera. I think she's flirting with the camera in a very, very interesting way, very fierce looking way. I also think the visuals on the LED in the background are great. I don't know, everything looks much better for me than even it looks in the video. I wasn't a fan of the video that as much as I know the rest of people were.
Yeah.
So
I wasn't either. I mean, the sound was better, but yeah, I always said the music video was always just you have some art school students go in and do as many metaphors in 3 minutes as humanly possible, right? Make them very visual. And I'm like, maybe a little less. I didn't want to do that and stick to one maybe kind of thing, which I think they have done here. I am actually, interestingly enough, I have a third opinion because I'm kind of in between the two of you. I don't know if I need to wait on this one because I agree with some of the Boris parts and some of the Emma parts here. So I'm on the fence. I feel like they once again didn't use the best part for us here. I don't like rap, so every time I get the rap part, I'm like, ah. But I will say with Emma, it was a cool moment how she interacted with the camera and then how all her faces showed up in the back. It was an intense moment, but maybe it was almost too intense for me. I don't know. I didn't. The 30 seconds, doesn't give us the whole feel of the song. So I am still on the fence on this one. I need to wait. So we are all over the place on this one. Okay. Netherlands. I'll go first on this one to get it out of the way. It's beautiful stage, right? I like a lot of parts about it. Sometimes they sing to each other, sometimes they face away from each other. So there are certain parts that they're trying to really thinking it through. the voices are so thin in this clip. So thin. Like there's no harm. Go ahead.
I think the main problem with the Netherlands is that their voices do not go together.
Yeah. It's visually, I'm a fan. It's just the sound, as you said, and their voices don't mash. Maybe they're just not strong enough vocally because they had to bring it down a notch, and then they sing softer and they have backup vocals. But in that process, it's too soft almost for me the way they sing, and that is what concerns
me. I think they increased it by an octave, or I think they brought up the pitch.
Yeah.
Yes, they did.
Yeah. What are your thoughts, Emma? Sorry.
My thoughts are the exact same as when we saw the previews and the photos from the gallery before. Like, we've seen already everything they're showing us here. I think, well, apart from the vocals, I think that it's working for the essence of the song. And I don't necessarily agree that their voices don't really go together. I think when they changed the pitch, they made improvements. And I think that, for a ballady song, this could actually work.
Yeah, I just love the staging. To me, is top notch. So I have no issues with what they've done visually. It really comes down to the artist. Because I'm not saying you have to scream. Like, okay, it is the most reasonable comparison we have because it is. Even if it was a different country, I would have used a comparison. Is a common linnets. They were singing softly, right? But they had beautiful harmonies, right? And they had like a strength within those voices that were still soft but still carried. And I don't think these voices carried.
The common linnets also had amazing chemistry. Those were two people that really hated each other, IRL. And they managed to fool everyone into thinking that they were a couple. Like, that was insane. Whereas when you look at this, these are just two strangers singing next to each other, not even at each other, next to each other. Yeah. It just, I don't know. I think the staging is it's really good. They've done what they could with this. Is it going to be enough? I do not know. It could sneak in, but I have my doubts.
It's a sneaker, that's for sure.
It's a sneaky little song.
And we're going to ask questions that you can answer your question in the chat as well. It's just we don't want to go for this here real quick because we have only one song left, and that is Finland, ending on a big one here. Boris, did the clip change your mind in any shape or form, or just confirm what you thought before?
Of course, it confirms what I thought. It's really good. Oh my god, like the backdrop where he has this giant tongue coming from him, like serving venom, serving lickitung. I love it.
So you're just as happy.
It's just he's basically this is the sort of unhinged insanity that I would have wanted from Austria. Basically,
yeah. I still think he was raised in a lab for a Eurovision performer. Like, how do we make the perfect Eurovision performer? And then they grew him into this because he knows it. It's
he's my everything in this year. Well, him and Joker out there, my everything.
Yeah. Emma, did you have a different opinion, or did you feel like this is exactly what I was thinking?
This is exactly what I was thinking, what I was hoping for, what I was expecting. He looks amazing. The camera works is top notch. I can't stop listening to the whole day today. I kept this on repeat for some reason. It just works, and I think that his odds just went up probably.
The one thing, he doesn't have a backup singer with him, or do they? Do you have a backup singer?
Not that I know.
Only because his voice, the backtrack either sounded really loud, or they have a backup singer that helps him. I'm not sure. Maybe it's just my sound. That's why I was asking.
This is a contest with pre-recording backing vocals, right? So he doesn't.
Right.
Have to sing
However,
everything.
Not the main melody. And if someone sings the main melody with you, you have to be the dominant voice.
I fear that he would sound worse, to be honest, because at UMK he sang over the track, that actually had his pre-recorded vocals in as well, and he sounded a bit strained in portions. I didn't really care because the staging was still the best thing I've ever seen in my life.
They have a backup singer, by the way.
Yeah, the chat is saying you do have one.
Yeah, so I caught that because it's a good choice. However, that was for me off. I'm like, I feel like I don't even hear him that loud. But they said he had sound problems. It's fine. I'm nitpicking because I thought this was fantastic. So I want to say this. I'm glad we also figured out when they come out of the box, the crate, and it was fantastic. The reveal, you even heard like a little bang of the crate thing falling down the floor. I love that. It just adds a little bit more realism to it, basically. And I know they had some issues with a string. Yeah, now like it's like you actually hear the real sounds. It's cool. It's like their own instrument. No, but they did say they had some issues today with the strings and all that stuff. So there are a bunch of issues, but of course in the short clip you couldn't tell. They did like 3 run-throughs. But nevertheless, I thought that, I agree with everything else you're saying. I thought this was fantastic, and and I feel bad for because again, will people talk about the Netherlands after this? So I feel almost bad for them going before this one, but they have different visual and different feel and different group going for them.
Well, considering that the Dutch media were talking about how bad the Netherlands were, maybe it's good that no one is talking about the Netherlands afterwards.
Well, now they love them, so it's all good.
Yeah, they'll just fluctuate.
Yeah,
whatever suits their interests.
Yeah. So that's what we seen so far. So it was fun to kind of experience that. But now we'd love to hear some questions from you all because we went through this a little bit. So forgive us, but so much to talk about, and now we're going into the deets.
I'm curious. Sorry to interrupt. I'm curious because I'm seeing that Serbian delegation said that no, things went wrong, but like in this rehearsal clip we were kind of all really impressed, right?
Yes. We're all very satisfied with what we saw.
That's probably why they chose that clip. They chose a clip where things went right.
Yeah. Plus, or they can even say the thing is, often when delegations say that been long enough, and you've seen this one, 2 bars, they often complain about little things that would, to probably the normal person, not make a difference. Like this one camera shot should have been on this, not that. Or like this is not working. That it's little things that I don't think are that big of a deal. Because even when you watch the first TikTok clips, you have all these asks, we need to fix some stuff, blah, blah, blah. All of them have different things in mind that in many cases, we don't even notice. Some of them are more obvious than others, fair enough. But sometimes they get nitpicky. And rightfully so, because that's their project. That's their baby. But yeah, I agree with you what you're saying about Serbia. I didn't see anything that concerns me.
Interesting.
Yeah, let's see here. Patrick Dutch. After seeing this, is there a shock qualifier in your opinion? So again, this is, even though we get a little bit more than we've had in the TikTok videos, it's still all very, very premature. But let's just do it because that's all they give us. Is there one that went up in your potential qualifications? Not even qualifications, even but going up and becoming more of a contender that you did not have on your radar?
Yes.
Who's it? Go ahead.
I had 5 countries written down, and I'm very tempted to put Malta in my qualifiers. They're not in right now, but after now, I think this looks really good. It's of course a 30-second clip. Like Citizen also looked good, and no one in the world cared. But I don't know.
That is true.
I'm tempted to put Malta in, probably at the expense of Czech Republic if I were to choose one of the others that I have as qualifiers.
How about you, Emma?
Everyone's saying, Latvia is not going to qualify, but shock qualifier, why not?
Yeah. So you're happy with what you saw?
Yes.
I have Latvia as a qualifier for the record.
Yeah. Well, I had Malta already as a qualifier, so that won't change after this performance. I'm actually, I don't want to, but I have to because as one of my HAB ranking, I'm getting a little worried about Portugal. I just don't know right now if this feels right, but I don't know. It's not a non-qualifier. I just don't see it now. That I don't see that happening. But I'm just getting a little nervous for Portugal right now. But maybe I'm overreacting because I'm very protective of the song.
Yeah, Portugal is also something that I didn't have on my radar as a potential non-qualifier.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm like thinking, maybe. But to be fair, I'm feeling the same thing about Moldova. It's a 30-second clip. I'm overthinking it. Like
that's what we do. That's our job, overthinking it. Because if we don't, then we're not going to say anything.
If we don't overthink, we're not procrastinating, and we're not succumbing to our own anxiety. Maybe we should stop.
Yeah. Did you hear anything about? Okay, now my thing's slowing down again. I'll get to the question in 2 seconds. Show on screen. Did you hear anything about the LEDs were messed up for Portugal when they arrive for first rehearsal? They're not using the LEDs, right?
What LEDs?
Are they? They're just using the light side, right? I didn't see any LEDs.
No, the screen was black.
Yeah, because what they do isn't usually they use the lights because that's the LED side, and then there's the light side. I have to double check that again, but I was under the impression they are using just the lights, but I'll double check that because I didn't see anything in the pictures from the first rehearsal or in this one that indicated that they were going to use that. I could be wrong.
if they're intending to use them, then they were absent from the pics, so maybe from the clips, so maybe something did go wrong.
Okay, this is another clip question I want to put up. It's a positive one. I love it. Comment section seems very negative. What are the positives you took home from each performance? If you're referring to the comment section on our live stream or the comment section on the video, I'm going to go to the video real quick and see what the comment sections look like. Emma, did you hear me?
No, sorry.
That's okay. What is the positive that you are taking away from each performance, or something like an overall? What's the positive to take away from this recap?
That all the allegations are really coming strong. Well, most of them are coming strong with the stagings and ideas. I think that compared to like a few other years, we're getting like a real show here. And I'm also very happy with what the UK is doing, hosting this year's contest overall. I think that they've done an amazing job with the stage, and in turn, that is giving opportunities for these delegations to come up with creative performances. So I think it goes both ways, and I think that's really important. So, yeah.
What are your positives, Boris?
Probably that I'm going to like this year more than last year, based on what I'm seeing. Like, this is probably the semi-final where I like the least. I like the other semi maybe more.
You're definitely in the minority on that one, which is good.
It has more of my niche favorites. I'm never like more on to the mainstream songs. The more people like a certain song, the more I'm going to put that popularity into question.
Contrarian.
It's just like, it can't be that good, can it? It sometimes is, but not always. I tend to like the second semi-final more because there's just less pressure into liking it. I just don't like the peer pressure of having to like a Loreen or a Kärja.
Let me go to some of the... Yeah. Apparently we missed some super chats. I'm just going to read them. I cannot bring it up on screen. Kenny was saying, thank you for the super chat. I think Finland will win the semi. A lot of the countries were meh. Was I the only one that felt that if they didn't have props, the stage was empty? I love it. Do you think so? Do you think that the stage feels empty if you don't have props? I personally don't feel that way. The thing is, it's all about the camera work. You can have really big stages, and it doesn't feel... Remember, again, let's talk about Comme les Nets again, because it's such a prime example. It was huge, the stage in Copenhagen. Huge. One of the biggest stages ever. Did they feel lost on stage? I don't think so. Emma?
No.
Yeah, I wanted to say something really important because you made a really good point. I mentioned on some of the previous lives that the stage in Rotterdam was so massive and so like out of this world massive compared to like what most delegations did on stage. But if you remember, obviously, like Hurricane, Loco Loco, if you watch the fan-made videos like on YouTube, like from the arena, it doesn't look half as impressive as it did with a good camera work. Yes. So they filled the stage with camera work, but otherwise, you could definitely tell there was something missing. So I think camera work plays a massive role in this.
It's how you capture it. That's all.
Yeah, exactly. And then we used it yesterday, the day before. We used the example of, remember Dance Alone, North Macedonia? She was dancing alone, but it felt so empty, just the way it was shot that year. And it just felt like empty. So it really comes down to the camera work and some other things as well, of course. But that's the big thing, So it really, if you get it right, you get it right. A little something for you all by Lee for your hard work throughout the year, and especially during the 2 weeks of Eurovision. What would we do with you? You mean without us? What would we do with you? Thank you so much. Mark, thank you for your super chat. And Natalie's thought that I thought the mics were very quiet in the clips. Did you feel the same way? Was that like an overall impression on you as well, or did it sound fine to you?
I didn't really notice it.
What, Emma?
Who was quiet? Sorry.
The mics, the microphones.
Microphones.
For
anyone.
Like overall.
No.
I didn't catch that. I felt like certain ones were lower. Again, that was, I mentioned Finland, but that was because the backup vocalist kind of was really loud. And so that's why I picked up on that right away. I pointed out Ireland. I just didn't feel, maybe it's the mixing there, that the backtrack did not match with his vocals in this one. He wasn't off vocally or anything, maybe a little strained, but it just didn't flow. And that was stood out to me. But I can say it was like, not
Colin just kind of came across as someone who hadn't slept really well.
Yes, I think that's exactly
that's
what
just sort of what
exhausted. So let's give him also a little bit of a break here. We're not going to nitpick or pick him apart for like, you don't have energy. What's the energy? This is a flipping rehearsal. You're allowed at some point to be tired, and they have not to rest until Monday, basically. I mean, they have interviews and some events on that, but they don't have to rehearse again for the next 3 or 4 days. So he has all the time to get rest, sleep, and get the energy needed to come back and really blow us away.
And I mean, let's not forget we saw 30 seconds of a full thing. Anything can still change.
Exactly. This is also
like, remember when we were in Rotterdam and Samantha Tina rehearsed, and us and Mel were so unimpressed and disappointed, and then the clip came out and everyone was like, oh my god, Latvia looks impressive, and we were like, did they see the same footage as we? I had to like go into Discord and be like, yeah, but they showed the only part of the song that was good. They would not believe me. Then they saw it live and they thought,
yeah, that's kind of how it goes. This can't be the real camera angles. If they are, BBC needs to step up fast. Cameras were showing singers' faces were cut out. Italy even had better angles. Okay, I hear what you're saying, but I'm gonna add a big as caveat to that one. This is still a rehearsal. This is exactly what they are there for. If you look at the camera work in Italy or any other country, the clips, that's just what it is at this point. This is where the actors said this was not working for us. We need to fix that. And that is what they're going to do with the first rehearsal, dress rehearsal. And then they have the second dress rehearsal. And then they have the third dress rehearsal. So there is still time to fix certain things. And this is part of it. Unfortunately, we are not seeing the whole thing. Boris has seen it in the past, so he knows what I'm talking about. Like, we don't even get to see some of the other mishaps that they're not showing in these clips. I'm sure there were even bigger mishaps. Oftentimes, do you remember, Boris, when you were there, how often they stopped in the middle of the song? Did that happen a lot in Rotterdam, or wasn't it too bad? I'm trying to remember.
I think there was like a case where Ivana from Hurricane tripped and fell flat on her face.
Oh, really?
I didn't remember that part.
I think it was with her, but I don't think they stopped the rehearsal for that.
Yeah.
They did have a couple.
They didn't stop for that. Then what would they stop it for?
Nothing. Hurricane is an unstoppable force.
Oh, that's true, right? I don't even.
Hurricane.
Let's go.
We had plenty of stops with Sweden last year, but you don't see that in the actual clip that you're seeing, right? Because they're not going to show you where they stop. I remember Sergei Lazarev falling off the wall. At
Seriously?
some point. Yeah. Oh yeah, we were all worried. We just saw him fall, and then they turned it off, and the lights went off. And we're like, oh my god, he was fine. Or like, what's his name from Czechia? Miklas Joseph. What is his name? Baby. He hurt his foot, right? So they had to stop completely. So those things, they happen. So I would not worry. I hear what you're saying, but keep in mind this is still progress and work. So we want to be very fair to that as well.
They're going to adjust the things that are suboptimal, like lights, camera angles, that can all be altered. That's why we have the run-throughs for. They have like 20 cameras pointed at the stage at all time. It's very easy to swap out a bad shot with a better one.
Exactly. Right, Mapper just responded to you, Boris. If you ain't bleeding, then why stop it? I mean, that's attitude, that's the right attitude. So what is the schedule for tomorrow? Will we have tickets? Okay, that was not the one I clicked on, but that one that showed up. Let me try that again.
The schedule is second rehearsals from 10:30. And then first rehearsals for the Big Five from 13:40.
Yes.
So we have Denmark, Armenia, Romania, Estonia, Belgium for second rehearsals, and first rehearsals France, Germany, Spain, Italy, Ukraine, and United Kingdom.
And I already have a link up for that. So we start a little earlier tomorrow because we'll get we have to be around for the first rehearsals for the Big Five. Mm-hmm. So that's why.
I assume we're not getting a clip from the first 5 from the second semi-final.
Not a clip, only TikTok.
No. No, I mean from Denmark, Armenia, Romania, Estonia.
Oh,
Belgium.
no, we should get one tomorrow. I would just. Oh.
Really? Like
that
the
is a
one
good
we
question.
got tonight?
I would think so. I don't think they're going to hold on to them. See, that's a good question that I don't even have an answer for. I think so.
No, but I don't think the EBU even has an answer for that.
I know. I'm
how
like,
late the clip went online.
Nobody
tonight.
knows. Yeah, they may hold on to those. So interesting. Yeah. So yeah. So I am overall. It's just exciting to get a little more. And while we get a little bit of the idea of the flow, we don't know the whole thing because 3 minutes. Is there? I mean, I'm not sure is there a song that you feel like in some other way could potentially overshadowed by another performance? For me, it's Netherlands. I feel really bad, even though they're second to last. It's not necessarily the most ideal situation coming right before the what you call it, Finland. It's better for the likes of like Switzerland coming right after Croatia because they're calming things down. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's a better place being a ballad coming after a big song than going before a big song.
With that staging, I'm not sure whether you would call Switzerland calming things down.
Well, yeah, that's true. That is fair. But I'm also talking about melodically.
I feel like theoretically, yes. Hypothetically, yes. In practice, maybe not so much. Well, maybe like Sweden and Azerbaijan. I can't hear you.
We can hear you.
Ah.
Oh.
I can't hear Matt. That's actually specific.
Okay. Matt.
No. Now he's swearing again.
It's okay. Let's see the question.
In terms of countries that cancel each other out, probably like Sweden and Azerbaijan, but who cancels out who? That's the question.
Of course, Azerbaijan cancels out Sweden.
When they take Sweden out, like the fandom is going to
Sorry, I missed that part.
Azerbaijan and Sweden. But who cancels who, Matt? Between those two?
Yeah, Azerbaijan would have been easily cancelled by a lot of songs, to be fair. Yeah, other than that, I'm trying to think. Yeah, Ireland, you can make a case against Croatia overshadowing Ireland. I don't know, but different crowd. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard, I guess.
No, I think the semi is actually pretty good. I think the only country that's probably going to be overshadowed is Ireland in some capacity. But we already knew that.
Yeah.
At least they have good floor LEDs. That's all I can ask for in an entry.
Yeah. That is true. All right, everyone. So that's it for today. We have some more work to do, but I appreciate everyone hanging around. This was a fun little live experience which I've never done before. As I said, I'll be back tomorrow. I forgot what time. I think it was 6 p.m. my time, so 3 p.m. tomorrow, I think, Central European time, I want to say. The link's already up, so you can figure it out on your own. So I'll be back. Thank you, Boris, and thank you, Emma, for joining me today. I hope you didn't completely hate it, and I will talk to you all later.
Thank you, guys. Have fun, and thank you for the fun time with Chet.
Yeah, happy to be here. Happy to have you here.
Bye-bye.